Chapter 1397. No one had expected that the core of the token would appear right above them. There was no need for them to go to a Grade 2 or Grade 3 God realm. It was enough for them to stay here. However, this situation made their faces twitch, and they felt that it was very strange. Especially when they thought of Yi Tianyun's confidence. They thought that Yi Tianyun was overconfident or was trying to comfort himself. Who knew that the core of the token would appear right here? There was really nothing to worry about. God. What bullsh *t luck. It's all bullsh *t. This is the most heaven-defying thing. Heavenly Cloud Territorial Lord, did you figure out that the core of the token would appear here? That's why you occupied the Chaos Dominion and waited here? Little junior brother, they are right. Did you really figure it out? They were all dumbfounded by the scene in front of them. They could only figure out how long it would take, but they could never figure out where the core of the token would appear. Even the vast Heavenly Master could not figure it out, let alone them. No, this is a matter of luck. Yi Tianyun smiled and immediately flew up. He reached out and grabbed the core of the token, and it fell into his hand easily. Soon after, a beam of divine light descended and enveloped his body, which was equivalent to locking him in place. Everyone knew who he was. Is this the core of the token? Yi Tianyun looked at the core of the token in his hand. It looked like a very ordinary token, but it contained a special energy. Yi Tianyun did not know what kind of energy it was, but he could feel that it was extremely terrifying. It was even a level higher than the power of a heavenly master. No matter what kind of energy it was, he only needed to know that this thing could take him to a special environment. Immediately after, Yi Tianyun wanted to take the core of the token to another god realm, or to a remote god realm in Fanyu. He suddenly found that he could not teleport at all. I can't teleport? Yi Tianyun was stunned. It seemed that the power of this thing was too strong. It completely locked onto him, so he could not teleport out of here. He could only fly. He had set up so many teleportation symbols not only to obtain the token's core as quickly as possible, but also to escape quickly. Now that he had obtained the token core easily, it was all thanks to his luck aura. He only felt that there was a high chance, but he didn't think that it would definitely appear above. If he could really appear nearby, he would also want to use the teleportation stone to escape. At the very least, they had to leave this area and not set the main battlefield here. At that time, he would have to face the army alone, but this was the result he wanted. Senior brothers, I'll be leaving first. I'll leave this place to you guys. Yi Tianyun said, turned around and flew out quickly. The three senior brothers were stunned. They thought that Yi Tianyun wouldn't leave and would stay here. From the looks of it, Yi Tianyun wanted to face a group of experts alone. However, they didn't stop him. Since their junior brother had made such a decision, they wouldn't interfere. It should be said that they would only guard this place and not interfere in other matters. Is it luck? This luck is really heaven-defying. They shook their heads and smiled bitterly. Whether it was divine or not, or luck, both were heaven-defying effects. At least, it was beyond their expectations. They thought they would have to fight for it, but now it seemed that there was no need for that. It was directly turned into defending. Yi Tianyun left the three realms' celestial realm at an extremely fast speed. But no matter where he went, the divine light enveloped him, sticking close to him, not leaving him for even a moment. After he left the three realms' celestial realm, the three realms' celestial realm was also enveloped by the divine light, representing his forces. The main force will definitely be lured away. Hopefully, the three realms' celestial realm will suffer less attack. Yi Tianyun's eyes were sharp. The celestial realm battle had officially begun. At the same time, the other third-grade celestial realm experts were on edge. When they saw the divine light descending, they were all dumbfounded. The place where the token core landed was actually a first-grade celestial realm. This was something they hadn't anticipated. None of them relied on external forces, all for the sake of maintaining their luck and having a greater chance of appearing near them. But now, it seemed that it was still very far away from them. It was still a first-grade celestial realm. Even a heavenly venerable needed some time to tear through space to get there. The distance between the two was too far. Heavenly venerables could be a little faster, but divine lords and below would need a lot of time. No matter what, they immediately rushed out. Groups of experts swarmed out like bees, leaving their hives one by one. In the celestial realm closer to the three realms celestial realm, they were scared to tears. The token core actually appeared in the three realms celestial realm. What's going on? The token core appeared in the three realms celestial realm? Was this divined? They did not know what to say. Everything was too coincidental. The chaos celestial realm was just occupied, and then the token core appeared here. Everything was locked onto this place. In their opinion, it was really divined. But now they were hurriedly defending or hiding. Soon, this place would become a battlefield. Who would have thought that the token core would appear nearby? And Tianyun kept flying towards Fanyu. If he stayed in the celestial realm for a month, then he only needed to stay in Fanyu for 6 days. That was equivalent to a month in the celestial realm. Soon, Tianyun successfully flew out of the first-grade celestial realm and into Fanyu. When he left the celestial realm, Tianyun immediately felt time passing quickly. But the time flow on the token core did not change. Looks like I was too naive. I thought I could speed up the flow of time. They have already thought of a countermeasure. It's impossible to speed up the flow of time, Tianyun smiled. But this did not matter. His original intention was to leave his celestial realm and draw the flames of war to a remote area. I wonder which celestial realm will be the first to arrive here? Tianyun smiled. His heart was filled with the desire to fight. He was prepared to face the strongest combat power in the entire outer celestial realm. As to how strong this strongest combat power would be, that would depend on what level it would reach. He took out the starry divine spear and held it tightly in his hand. He floated in the void, waiting for the arrival of his opponent. While he was waiting, a large number of experts rushed over. When they found out that the celestial realm that snatched the token was from the three realms celestial realm, they were all dumbfounded. Chapter 1398. The god realm of the three realms had been on fire recently, but many god realms did not view him as an opponent, and only saw him as an opponent with some potential. Who knew that the token core would be snatched away by the god realm of the three realms, leaving them dumbfounded. The grade 3 god realms were on guard against each other, only to discover that it had been snatched away by someone else. They felt that all their efforts had been in vain. Damn it, it was snatched away by a mere grade 1 god realm. Now, he's running to Fan Yu's side with the token. The first to arrive were naturally the stronger Sacred Peak God Realm and Myriad Heaven God Realm. They arrived at the same time. The two great enemies glared at each other, their eyes filled with thick killing intent. But now that the token core was not in their hands, they could not attack even if their killing intent soared to the sky. Now that they were not in the God Realm of the three realms, they could only turn their attention to the area where the token core was located, Fan Yu. Their gazes were incomparably cold. After exchanging glances, they charged towards Fan Yu. Since the token core was not here, there was no need for them to stay, and they charged towards Tianyun's side. The token core was the most important. Destroying the faction would not give them a single token core. Hence, the domain lords that had arrived swiftly charged towards the area where Tianyun was, not stopping at all. Logically speaking, as long as one obtained the token core, the best place to hide would be within one's own territory. He would be a fool if he were to leave his own area and stay outside. In any case, as long as one persisted for a month, everything would be judged as a success. Hence, losses and whatnot were very normal. Yet, Tianyun chose to leave his own god realm. This was extremely rash, and to them, an extremely brainless move. If it were them, they would immediately hide in their own territory and defend it to the death. As long as there were intruders, they would kill them without mercy. Soon, the army charged towards Etienne's side, while Etienne observed the situation in the area. He released a lot of pets there to keep an eye on them. As the distance was not far, they could transmit information to him, letting him know the situation there. Fortunately, they didn't reach out to attack the Three Realms God realm, but rather towards him. "Are they all here?" Etienne's eyes were cold. He was wearing a set of pitch-black armor. This was the evil Lord of Heaven's set. He held the starry god's spear in his hand. The godly seals on the spear flashed. Everything was prepared. Not long after, the first to tear through space and rush over was the Sacred Peak Sacred Realms Domain Master, followed closely by the myriad Heaven Sacred Realms Domain Master. The two strongest region masters had the same cultivation. They were both late-stage Middle Empyrean cultivators. They were just a bit away from becoming Upper Empyrean cultivators. It wasn't that easy to break through to the Upper Heavenly Venerate level. It was already quite heaven-defying to be able to become a late-stage Heavenly Venerate. This was especially true in the outer divine regions. They were considered to be at the very top. Xiao. As soon as Domain Master Wan Tian appeared, he did not hesitate and immediately charged towards Etienne. A cold light flashed in his hand, and upon closer inspection, it was actually a claw-shaped weapon. It was rare for a cultivator to use a claw-shaped weapon. Moreover, it was a Heavenly Venerate spiritual treasure, which surprised Etienne. However, he had no time to be surprised. He immediately burst into a frenzied attack mode and activated his strongest power to resist Domain Master Wan Tian's attack. Domain Master Wan Tian's power soared to the extreme. As Fan Yu's space was relatively fragile, it tore through the void along the way and shattered everything. "Give me the token's core." Domain Master Wan Tian's eyes flashed with a cold light as he ruthlessly tore towards Etienne. Heaven-murdering divine art, water-fire revolving spear. Under the superposition of the water and fire attributes, the originally repelling attributes directly merged together, thus causing the starry god's spear to explode with even greater power. What was superimposed was the even more overbearing divine dragon bloodline power. The spear heavily smashed through the void. Boom! The two of them exchanged a simple move and directly caused a large area of the void to explode. Immediately after, both of them were forced back, barely able to fight to a draw. As expected of Domain Master Wan Tian, his power is really strong. Etienne felt a little numb in his hands. His opponent had used a sharp claw, and after ruthlessly scraping down, a few deep marks appeared on his starry god spear. As expected, a heavenly Tao weapon was much weaker than a heavenly Venerate spiritual treasure. If he fought it head-on, he would definitely be at a disadvantage. At this time, he also realized that there was still a large gap between him and a middle-level heavenly Venerate. Under his full power, he could barely fight to a draw, which was enough to show how amazing his opponent was. The main thing was that Domain Master Wan Tian used most of his power at once, without any sloppiness. It was not like before, when he saw that Etienne was at the Lord God level, he would use a little less power. Domain Master Wan Tian did not do that. He directly used his full power, wanting to kill Etienne in one move and then obtain the token's core. Who knew that he would not succeed and instead, he would be sent flying back. Etienne was surprised, but his opponent was even more shocked. Domain Master Wan Tian originally wanted to kill Etienne in one move as soon as possible and snatch the token's core to prevent anything else from happening. Who knew that he would definitely be able to snatch it would be stopped by a God Lord. How can a God Lord be so strong? Domain Master Wan Tian was shocked. He thought that it was a lucky God Lord who happened to pick up the token's core, but it seemed that he was wrong. Sacred Peak Domain Master was also dumbfounded. He turned to look at Domain Master Wan Tian and said in shock, "Aren't you guys on the same side?" "Who is on the same side as him? We have never allied with the divine realm of the three realms. The divine realm of the three realms is not supported by us at all." Domain Master Wan Tian was about to explode from anger. He shouted loudly and fiercely refuted Domain Master Sacred Peak's words. "If it is not you guys, who is supporting them?" Sacred Peak Domain Master could not tell that Domain Master Wan Tian was lying, which meant that it was true. Didn't that mean that all the heavenly venerables he sent out had died in the hands of an unknown force? Or rather, they had died in the hands of this strange God Lord. "You ask me, who should I ask?" Domain Master Wan Tian said angrily. "Why don't you ask me?" Tianyun said with a smile on his face. "Then who is supporting you?" Domain Master Wan Tian was so angry that he wanted to laugh. "I am supporting myself, is there a problem?" Tianyun's reply made everyone want to vomit blood. Chapter 1399. Messing with Us. The Myriad Heavens Domain Lord and the Saint Peak Domain Lord were furious, and they immediately attacked Tianyun. They raised their hands in the void and used their Empyrean spirit treasures to attack Tianyun. They were both Empyrean spirit treasures. One was a low-grade Empyrean spiritual treasure, and the other was a middle-grade Empyrean spiritual treasure. However, their power was completely different. They could unleash their full power. Domain Master Xing Feng's Empyrean spiritual treasure was extremely violent. It was just a small sacred peak that was thrown towards Tianyun. The small sacred peak immediately turned into a huge sacred peak. It was like a huge planet that smashed towards Tianyun. Boom, boom, boom. Layers of the void were shattered by this huge sacred peak. Then, it shook towards Tianyun, wanting to crush him layer by layer. This was just the power of a low-grade Empyrean spiritual treasure, but in his hands, it exploded with terrifying power. This was the difference in cultivation. Even a low-grade Empyrean spiritual treasure could release terrifying power. Domain Master Wan Tian also attacked. However, he was still a close combat type. His other Empyrean spiritual treasure was a pair of wings. After equipping it, it turned into a beam of light that broke through the void. In the blink of an eye, it was already in front of Tianyun. It could not be any faster. This speed directly surpassed Tianyun's previous speed. It could even be said that he was ahead by a large margin. This was the effect of having a powerful cultivation base and equipped with a heaven-defying treasure, extreme speed charge. Fast, it's too fast. Tianyun's eyes could not keep up. This was the first time he had seen such speed. In fact, Heavenly Killer God could also explode with shocking speed. However, his power was suppressed and he was seriously injured. He had never truly experienced the power of a middle-level Empyrean. As for the upper-level Empyrean level, there was no need to mention it. He had never experienced it before. Level up. Ding. Congratulations to player Tianyun for successfully breaking through to level 6 God Lord. Level up again. Ding. Congratulations to player Tianyun for successfully breaking through to level 7 God Monarch. Shifeng leveled up twice in one go, madly increasing his basic attribute. His aura instantly rose to a new peak. At this moment, the speed he saw was still an afterimage. Furthermore, this was under the effects of the Kuan-Pung bloodline. Even so, he was still unable to compare to the other party. There was still a huge gap between them. Heaven-murdering divine art, illusory soil circulation. The mystic gold power and the earth elemental power fused together to form a thick defense around him. Since there was no way to escape or hide, he might as well defend for once. Poochie. The incomparably sturdy defense was pierced through by the sharp claws. The sharp claws were like piercing through a layer of paper, easily piercing through. This was the perfect combination of speed and sharp claws. He finally understood why Domain Lord Wan Tian used his claws as a weapon. Coupled with his astonishing speed, he was truly invincible. Close combat had always been the most powerful attack. Domain Lord Wan Tian's close combat strength was very strong. Coupled with his wings, he could perfectly display his advantage in close combat. Once they got close, it meant that the battle was over. It's over. Domain Lord Wan Tian's eyes were full of excitement. He was ready to snatch the token core. The Domain Lord on the side was anxious. He wanted to speed up, but he couldn't. His speed was not as heaven-defying as Domain Lord Wan Tian. The experts of the myriad heaven's sacred realm behind him were overjoyed. Close combat, I won. Close combat was victory. It had always been like this. Poochie, this claw tore through the terrifyingly hard evil lord of heaven's set. It was as if everything was a pile of scrap metal under this powerful force. However, while continuing to stab in Yi Tianyun's head, there was already a number jumping crazily. Upgrade Kuan Pung Bloodline. Ding, successfully deducted 5,000 compressed crazy point. Kuan Pung Bloodline upgraded to 2nd grade. 2nd grade Kuan Pung Bloodline. Speed increased from 100 times to 300 times. Whoosh! Kuan Pung Bloodline and Phoenix Bloodline superimposed on each other, increasing his speed by 500 times. It is reasonable to say that the speed of Phoenix Bloodline alone is already as high as 500 times. However, the quality of Phoenix Bloodline is somewhat low, and the higher the level, the worse the effect. It can only superimpose 500 times the speed. However, it is already quite amazing. When it was about to stab him, Yi Tianyun's body made an emergency shift and moved back 1 meter. Under the instantaneous burst of speed, he was actually a little faster than Domain Lord Wan Tian. Although it was just a little bit faster, it was still faster. Just a little bit faster meant that he had the upper hand. Shortly after, he dodged the fatal attack. However, the shock waves that tore through the air still injured his body. 5 marks left on his body, the evil Lord of Heaven's set was torn, and there were 5 more deep marks on his body. This power is too strong. If he was a little bit slower, he would have definitely been torn into 5 pieces. After he dodged, he did not stay for long and quickly dodged to the back. What? When Domain Lord Wan Tian saw Yi Tianyun dodge his attack, he was shocked. At this moment, the sacred peak was pressing down, and Domain Lord Wan Tian did not have time to chase after Yi Tianyun. He could only choose to slap his hand behind him, colliding with the sacred peak. Boom! After the two clashed, Yi Tianyun just managed to escape the area and take a breather. The injuries on his body healed rapidly. His healing ability is extremely strong. Be it Phoenix Bloodline or Divine Dragon Bloodline, they have amazing healing effect. Too strong, really too strong, Yi Tianyun frowned as he looked at the 5 rapidly healing wounds on his chest, and his heart palpitated. He could feel that the other party did not use his full strength. Not using his full strength was already so heaven-defying. If he used his full strength, what level would he reach? Even if he broke through to God Monarch level 7, the difference is still shocking. Sometimes, just increasing one's fighting strength is not enough, speed is still very important. After all, speed is the only thing that cannot be defeated in this world. No matter how amazing one's fighting strength is, it is useless if one cannot hit. Crazy damage mode only increases his power, it does not mean that it increases his speed, nor does it increase his defense. Speed still depends on the eruption of his major bloodlines to be able to rush forward, otherwise, he will not be able to close the distance. Chapter 1400. Yi Tianyun was deeply shocked by the speed. It turned out that the gap between them was so huge. He had beaten so many heavenly masters before. Now that he was facing a truly powerful heavenly master, the gap was immediately apparent. However, if he stayed in the sacred realm of the 3 realms, he could undoubtedly close the gap. After all, in the sacred realm of the three realms, not only could he increase his strength, but he could also teleport and escape. However, he did not want to bring the flames of war to the sacred realm of the three realms. Unless he was forced to do so, he definitely did not want to do so. The sacred realm of the three realms was ultimately a little weak. Perhaps the cultivators there were all crazy and willing to fight for him. However, he did not intend to go back until the crucial moment. If the overall strength of the sacred realm of the three realms was equal to that of a grade 3 celestial realm, he would definitely be happy to stay in the sacred realm of the three realms. At the very least, he had to try and see what level he could reach and how many of the experts here could he block. Boom, boom, boom. Domain Master Wan Tian and Domain Master Xing Feng fought crazily. After a single exchange, Domain Master Wan Tian was completely enraged. Sacred Peak Region Master, can you please be more precise? How dare you attack me, you damned bastard! Come and die! Domain Master Wan Tian was furious after being hit by the Sacred Peak. If not for his strong cultivation, he would have been squashed flat. Who told you to rush over? It has nothing to do with me. Domain Master Xing Feng waved his sacred peak continuously, blocking him in front. He did not dare to fight Domain Master Wan Tian in close combat. He would definitely be the one to die. Tianyun, who was standing on the side, smiled as he watched the fight between the two Domain Masters. This was exactly what he wanted. He then turned to the other expert. While they were fighting, he wanted to kill all the heavenly masters and divine monarchs. Swoosh! Tianyun's figure rushed forward and disappeared into the void. He disappeared without a trace, as if he had completely escaped from this place. However, this was all an illusion. The light in the sky still shrouded down, piercing through the void and illuminating Tianyun. Even so, this did not hinder Tianyun's speed as he charged over. In the blink of an eye, he killed his way into the group of experts from the two god realms. Ah! A cold light shot out from the void. Every shot could easily explode their head. Basically, it was one shot per person. Not to mention heavenly venerables, at least divine sovereigns were killed with a single spear strike. All of them transformed into a huge wave of experience that surged over. Tianyun activated a bunch of experience cards at the same time to maximize his experience points. The experience he had accumulated from killing 9 Empyreans was only enough for him to level up twice. This was enough to show how difficult it was to level up now. Therefore, he needed more experience and a higher multiplier in order to level up faster. The higher the rank, the more likely they would be able to stop them. Especially crazy points, he can earn more EXP, so that he can improve his bloodline power. Who would be able to stop him when he advanced one by one? Along with the sounds of slaughter, divine lords were like pieces of paper. Heavenly venerables were still fine. If they were not careful, they would be killed instantly. If they were prepared, they would be seriously injured and almost killed. However, Tianyun did not continue fighting. If he couldn't kill them in one shot, he immediately moved to the next target. After all, there were not only Sacred Peak God Realm here, but also Myriad Heaven God Realm and other God Realms. This was a battle between God Realms, not a one-on-one battle. It's just that Sacred Peak God Realm and Myriad Heaven God Realm were the most overbearing, so they snatched first while the other God Realms watched from the sidelines. Some of them even had a relationship with Sacred Peak God Realm. Since they were all in the same group, they could not let them go. Many cultivators were killed in the blink of an eye, and they couldn't stop them at all. Tianyun combined with the Void bloodline and the terrifying Kuan Pung bloodline, his speed in the void can be said to have reached the extreme. The situation here was quickly seen by the Sacred Peak God Realm Lord and the others, and they all stopped. If they continue to fight, their side's experts will be finished. Damn it, this guy is the fisherman! The Sacred Peak God Realm Lord and the others were furious and rushed here, trying to suppress Tianyun. Yi Tianyun completely ignored them and continued to harvest the experts at an extremely fast speed. Kuan Peng Bloodline Upgrade. Ding, successfully deducted 10,000 compressed crazy point. Kuan Peng Bloodline upgraded to 3rd level. The effect increased from 300 times to 500 times. As expected of the Kuan Peng Bloodline that focuses on speed, it has reached the maximum level of Phoenix Bloodline at 3rd level. I wonder what kind of amazing speed it will reach in the future. Xiao. His speed suddenly increased, and he harvested at an even faster speed. Along the way, he easily killed a group of cultivators, turning them into dregs. The Sacred Peak God Realm Lord and the others couldn't catch up, they could only watch Yi Tianyun madly kill their men. When they were ready to catch up, Yi Tianyun made a sharp turn and got rid of them. Even Myriad Heaven God Realm Lord couldn't catch up with him easily. Damn it, how did his speed suddenly become so fast? Did this guy kill all the heavenly masters I sent out? The Sacred Peak God Realm Lord was shocked to the extreme. A cultivator who exudes divine monarch aura from time to time, the power that burst out has reached their level. Immediately, he shouted at Myriad Heaven God Realm Lord, "What are you doing? Hurry up and stop him. If this goes on, not to mention my subordinates, even your subordinates will be killed." The two of them seemed to have become friends and began to communicate with each other. You think I don't want to? His speed is too fast, faster than me. Myriad Heaven God Realm Lord also wanted to suppress Yi Tianyun, but Yi Tianyun's speed is faster than him. How can he catch up? Bullshit, you are not willing to use it. Once you use it, you will definitely catch up, even faster than him. Don't think I don't know that you still have a lot of power hidden. The Sacred Peak God Realm Lord shouted. Damn it, don't you have a lot of power hidden? If you have the guts, why don't you use it first and try to fight him? Myriad Heaven God Realm Lord roared. The two of them refused to give way. Actually, both of them were hiding their strength, and did not use their strongest power, mainly because they didn't dare to use it completely. Once someone else took advantage of the situation, they would suffer a great loss. Therefore, neither of them dared to act recklessly, nor use their full power. They were both wary of each other. Even though Yi Tianyun was madly killing their men, they still did not dare to act recklessly. If they lost their men, they could find new ones, but if they died, they would not even be able to get the token core. The token core was the most important. Chapter 1401. Both of them were unwilling to unleash their full power. Both of them were holding back. This was what Yi Tianyun wanted. He was harvesting the lives of numerous cultivators and easily gaining a large amount of experience points. Two fools guarding against each other. By the time you unleash your full power, I will have already taken care of your subordinate. Yi Tianyun sneered in his heart. He liked this kind of ending the most. They could restrain each other and watch him harvest their subordinate. Damn it, if this goes on, we will be finished. Sacred Peak Domain Master said angrily, let's work together. Let's make a vow that we will attack each other when we get the token core first. When we kill that guy, we will not hold back. How about that? Deal. Domain Master Wan Tian was even angrier. He agreed without hesitation. If they made a vow, they would not attack each other. Most importantly, they would not be at a disadvantage if they unleashed their full power at the same time. Originally, Domain Master Wan Tian was worried that Sacred Peak Domain Master would be watching from the side after he unleashed his full power. If that happened, Sacred Peak Domain Master Wan Tian would fight him head-on. Now that he had made the vow, he could attack with ease. At least, he would not sneak up on him. Open up. Domain Master Wan Tian spread his wings. From the original 2 wings, he had 4 wings. His speed instantly increased by several times, or even more than 10 times. With a swoosh, he broke through the void and charged towards Yi Tianyun. He was so fast that he instantly overpowered Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun's speed was a few hundred times. It seemed shocking, but his foundation was too weak. For example, if 100 points multiplied by 500 times, that would be 50,000 points. But the foundation of a heavenly venerable was 10,000 points. If it multiplied by a few times, or more than 10 times, it would be a different story. In one breath, he crushed Yi Tianyun's speed and chased after him. This is his true speed. When Yi Tianyun saw Domain Master Wan Tian charging towards him, his heart skipped a beat. However, he did not slow down and continued to kill other cultivators. Suppress him. Saint Peak's Domain Master also unleashed his strongest power. The gigantic Saint Peak came crashing down. Be it in terms of speed or area of effect, both were much stronger than before. At the same time, countless chains wrapped around him. It was another suppression-type Empyrean spirit treasure. The Sacred Peak Domain Master also used his other intermediate, heavenly venerable spirit treasure to seal the area. Needless to say, everyone had their own style. Domain Lord Wan Tian liked close combat, and even more so, he liked his astonishing speed. The Domain Master of the Saint Peak liked absolute suppression, sealing off all paths of retreat, leaving his opponent with nowhere to run. Under the joint efforts of the two heavenly venerables, Yi Tianyun was forced into a desperate situation. There was no way for him to escape. At this moment, Domain Master Wan Tian had already arrived. The sharp claws in his hands were unleashed to the maximum. The originally small claws instantly turned into sharp claws that were dozens of meters long. This time, Yi Tianyun didn't dare to continue fighting. He turned around and viciously lashed out. Since there was no way to escape, he might as well just attack. While counterattacking, he first hid in the void. In the void, he could weaken the opponent's power, thus reducing the pressure. Heaven's slaughtering divine incantation, magic gold. The 5 elements core in his body revolved crazily, and the starry divine spear in his hand immediately turned into an indestructible golden spear. Boom! The two collided, and Yi Tianyun was directly sent flying. His hand felt numb, and he felt as if his hand was about to break. However, Domain Master Wan Tian wasn't much better off. He was also sent flying by his power. Although there was a gap between the two, Yi Tianyun's crazy attack was not to be trifled with. Furthermore, he had the support of various bloodlines, so his power was astonishing. Even so, the two were still sent flying, and it was a draw. The important thing was that after Yi Tianyun was sent flying, Domain Master Wan Tian's attack came. Waves after waves of attacks swept over. Whether it was above, below, left, or right, he was completely surrounded by the Empyrean spirit treasure. Yi Tianyun didn't panic. He couldn't use the teleportation godstone to escape, but that didn't mean he couldn't use instant transmission. Let's go! Yi Tianyun's figure flashed, and he disappeared in place. The divine light above the whole world suddenly disappeared, and then quickly reappeared. When it reappeared, the divine light had already arrived at the side of the area, and he escaped from the siege of 2 Empyreans. What? Both of them were shocked. 2 Empyreans joined forces, and all kinds of seals couldn't trap Yi Tianyun. Especially Domain Master Wan Tian. His heart couldn't calm down for a long time. If Domain Master Wan Tian is extremely confident in his close combat, as long as he can get close to his opponent, then Domain Master Wan Tian is absolute suppression and besiegement. As long as the 2 great treasures are used, they will definitely suppress the opponent and not let him escape. But the result was still unexpected. Yi Tianyun easily escaped and avoided his blockade. After Yi Tianyun escaped, he continued to join the crazy slaughter, quickly harvesting the cultivators around him. This is to earn more EXP and crazy point, and at the same time continue to reduce these cultivators, completely eliminate them. Run! Both divine monarchs and lesser Empyreans chose to escape. In the face of Yi Tianyun's violent power, lesser Empyreans can't even resist a few moves, and they will be killed in seconds. This made them crazy. So many cultivators can't even stop one person, it's really ridiculous. Before, they thought that they could take down Tianyun, but who knew that the difference in strength is so great, they were simply suppressed by absolute power. Tianyun fought with them, it was difficult to kill them, or hurt them too much. However, his escaping skills were top-notch, and he easily slipped away. Then, he rushed to the other cultivators and started a massacre, wiping them out in a frenzy. Damn it, what the hell is going on? Both of us joined forces can't suppress him? Domain Master Wan Tian and Domain Master Wan Tian's face turned ugly. It can be said that they are extremely embarrassed. They thought that they could easily suppress Tianyun, but now it seems that they are naive. Even if they burst out with their full strength, their opponent still escaped. It is simply a shame. Again, they didn't stop, and immediately joined forces to continue to attack. The Domain Master of the Sacred Peak Domain and the Domain Master of the Myriad Heavens Domain unleashed even more power this time. They were completely enraged and were ready to risk everything. Chapter 1402. All the God Realms were paying attention to this scene. They didn't have to participate in the battle. They could send some scouts to pass the news back. They used a type of image-transmitting God stone that could project the scene back. This thing was extremely expensive and had a time limit. However, in order to see the situation here, they were willing to go all out. The God Realm of the Three Realms also sent scouts over. These scouts were sent by Sword Lord Heavenly Paragon. They had image-transmitting God stones. As a Heavenly Paragon, if they didn't even have such a thing, they would be letting down their Heavenly Paragon. At this time, all the scenes were transmitted to their eyes. It could be said that within the God Realm of the Three Realms, they could clearly see Tianyun's battle. Their hearts were in their throats every time they saw Tianyun being besieged. However, Tianyun was able to dodge every time and even fight to a draw. When this scene was transmitted to the other God Realms, they were all shocked. All the God Realms were shocked. The God Realm of the Three Realms were actually this strong? Little junior brother is very strong. The opponent is going all out, but he can still persist. In terms of overall strength, he seems to surpass me. Sword Lord Heavenly Paragon shook his head. He thought that facing two God Realm Lords at full power was still difficult. However, Tianyun kept running. It made them sigh. Yes, very shocking. If he goes to the inner God Realm and Master nurtures him, he will definitely reach a higher level. Senior brother Li Tian couldn't help but nod. Yes, his talent is even higher than ours. It's very rare to see such a heaven-defying level. We only have this strength after tempering ourselves in the inner God Realm. Little junior brother didn't even temper himself, but he already has this strength. He is truly monstrous. Senior brother Longming also sighed. Although they all admired him, Shi Shuyun and the others' hearts were in their throats. They were all frightened by this scene. Sister-in-law, don't be so nervous. I'm already prepared to help at any time. Senior brother Li Tian had a calm expression as if he had a card up his sleeve. Really? Shi Shuyun's eyes lit up, and when she said that, their heart is a lot more at ease. Yes, Master has already instructed us to protect little junior brother. However, the moment we take action, it will be the same as your defeat in the God's Domain War, Li Tian said. If they could interfere at will, the Sacred Peak Celestial Realm would have done so long ago. Many almighty beings would have rushed over to fight. But they could only protect the God Realm and could not come out to fight. Similarly, they couldn't kill their way out and charge into the other divine domains. That would be tantamount to breaking the rules. If they could, the God Realm would be destroyed in the God Realms. If they could, the God Realm would to the God Realm of God Realm. Is that so? Shi Shuyun's eyes lit up. Then please, Senior. Although it was important to win the Divine Realm War, Tianyun's life was undoubtedly more important. As long as he was alive, there was hope. But if it's possible, I really don't want Junior Brother to be eliminated. They shook their heads. They really didn't want to do this, especially when they saw the resolute look in Etienne's eyes. They didn't want to ruin Etienne's plan. Little Junior Brother is too soft-hearted. He doesn't want the Three Realms God domain to suffer too much damage. Otherwise, if he hid inside, he wouldn't dare to say that he could win for sure. At the very least, with the three of us we can share most of the pressure. Heavenly Paragon Sword Judge shook his head. He felt that Etienne's actions were too soft-hearted. If it were any other region lord, they would have long since run back to their own divine territory. Only then would they be able to maximize the strength of their external aid. That was why he said that obtaining the token core was the most crucial moment. This was especially true for the top-ranked God realms. Once they obtained the token core and escaped, they were basically destined to win. With a large number of heavenly venerables guarding the surroundings, who would dare to approach? If they really wanted to snatch it back, they could only engage in a frenzied battle between the divine domains. At that time there would be countless casualties. While everyone else was paying attention to this side, Etienne felt danger approaching. A terrifying power came from behind Etienne, and he immediately turned around to look. He saw two balls of light blooming with extreme energy rushing in his direction. Even the Sacred Peak Region Lord's speed was much faster than before. It could even be said that if he didn't have a breakthrough in his bloodline and cultivation, he wouldn't even be as fast as the Sacred Peak Region Lord. It seemed that they were really going all out. Even the bloodline in their bodies began to burn, stimulating their own abilities, wanting to kill him. Sacred Peak World. The Sacred Peak Region Lord roared. The sacred peak in his hands was wrapped in layers of thick chains. He didn't expect that two heavenly venerable spirit treasures could be used together to attack. After combining, the sacred peak that was pressing down had countless chains that turned into a cage, shrouding the surroundings. At the same time, it was accompanied by a sealing power, wanting to completely trap Etienne under it. They knew that when Etienne escaped just now, he should have escaped through the void. Thus, the most direct method was to seal all the space, to prevent Etienne from escaping this time. This time, it could be said that they were going all out. The sealing power was strengthened several times, and the surrounding space was locked in layers. It had to be said that it was really much stronger. Suddenly, Etienne felt the pressure increase. He could clearly feel that the surrounding space had been strengthened, and the difficulty of teleportation had greatly increased. This was the crazy eruption of a late-stage heavenly venerable, and it could be said that he was the strongest opponent so far. Although heavenly venerable Godkiller was a little stronger, his opponent was at least injured, and he was restrained. Now, who in the Sacred Peak Region Lord could restrain him? There was no one who could restrain him. Even if the core of the 5 elements could restrain him, the difference was still huge. While sealing the space, the myriad heavens region lord also erupted with a stronger power. There were still 4 wings on his back, but faint flames were emitting from them. His speed also increased several times, and the sharp claws in his hands shone with a cold silver light. The cold air they emitted was enough to tear everything to pieces. Void strangulation. With the myriad heavens region lord as the center, a large area around him was filled with countless cold lights. Coincidentally, when a few rocks were thrown over, they suddenly turned into powder and disappeared. No one knew what had happened. In fact, the area around him was already filled with terrifying strangulation power. Countless invisible attacks were spreading in all directions, so fast that it was hard to see them clearly. Once they got close, they would be torn into countless pieces. Chapter 1403. The joint attack of the 2 region masters caused the hearts of all the spectating God domain experts to tighten. Among them, the 3 realms God realm was even more nervous. Letion Heavenly Master was ready to help at any time. It seemed like the distance was far, but for him, He only needed a moment to rush over to help. However, he wouldn't rush out until the critical moment, otherwise, everything would be over. In the face of such a strong suppression, Yi Tianyun's heart is still so calm. He can't rush out with instant transmission. It must be said that the Saint Peak Domain Lord won. His powerful seal blocked all escape routes. He can only admit this, unless he continues to upgrade his instant transmission. He still has a chance to escape. But in addition to upgrading his instant transmission, he can also upgrade another skill. Upgrade? Ding. Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully breaking through to God Monarch level 8. He chose to upgrade his cultivation instead of instant transmission. Instant transmission didn't reach its limit, but his cultivation reached its limit, so the power of instant transmission was limited. After deducting a large amount of EXP, he finally upgraded. It wasn't easy to upgrade. If he didn't harvest Heavenly Masters and God Monarchs like crazy before, he wouldn't be able to upgrade. Later on, the experience needed to level up has reached hundreds of thousands of compressed crazy point. If converted to the previous experience, it is really explosive. After the upgrade, Yi Tianyun's base value increased in all aspects, including the power of instant transmission. Go! Yi Tianyun didn't fight them head-on, but chose to escape. Although his cultivation has increased, he's facing 2 middle-level Heavenly Masters. He would be a fool if he didn't run. He was not invincible, unless his cultivation base continued to break through. Thus, with a teleportation, he easily escaped from this terrifying seal. But the attack of the 2 Heavenly Masters immediately missed. The one who was trapped was Myriad Heaven Domain Lord, not Yi Tianyun. Everyone who was watching was stunned. They all rubbed their eyes, wondering if they were seeing things. How could such a terrifying seal be able to escape? Junior apprentice brother, how did you do it? Li Tian and the others were all stupefied. They knew that they had no way of escaping, and could only fight their way out. After all, the seal of the Sacred Peak Region Master could not be broken so easily. It could easily suppress the enemy. However, Yi Tianyun still managed to escape. It was only when they saw the divine light land elsewhere that they realized that Yi Tianyun had escaped. What the hell? You can still escape? The Sacred Peak Region Master and the others were about to go crazy. After paying such a high price, they still couldn't even trap a cultivator? This made the Sacred Peak Region Master doubt his own strength. After escaping, Yi Tianyun did not linger for long. He immediately continued with his extermination. Just like before, he began to harvest like crazy. Compared to before, his current speed was even more astonishing, and his harvesting speed was also much faster. This was how Yi Tianyun had always played. He couldn't win from the front, but he could choose to attack from the side. He would first eliminate his subordinates, and then slowly finish them off. He was in no hurry at all. As long as the 2 of them become bald, they would not be able to do anything. The key is that he can earn more experience and crazy point to speed up his breakthrough. This is equivalent to quickly leveling up, and then filling the gap between them, and finally achieving a counterattack. If this continues, my subordinates will all die. The Sacred Peak Region Master's forehead was on the verge of exploding. That's right, if this continues, our subordinates will all die. Domain Master Wan Tian was going crazy. He felt that he was wasting his time here. If this continued, their subordinates would all be wiped out. At that time, even if they won, their own forces would collapse. No, he killed our subordinates, we will also kill his subordinate. Domain Master Wan Tian was angry. Since he can't outrun Yi Tianyun's speed, he will choose to rush to Yi Tianyun's forces and force him back. Immediately, Domain Master Wan Tian and the others took out the communication jade pendant and crushed it fiercely. At the same time, they shouted, "Disciples of Sacred Peak Divine Realm, move to the 3 Realms Divine Realm and flatten the 3 Realms Divine Realm." disciples and elders of myriad heaven divine realm, move to the three realms divine realm and destroy the three realms divine realm. Domain Master Wan Tian shouted, and also began to mobilize the disciples and elders of myriad heaven divine realm to attack the three realms divine realm. Such a situation had never occurred in the past. The gods' territory outside had been constantly fighting for the token core. Only after the token core had been snatched away would they start to fight for it in the gods' territory. Now the situation has reversed. They no longer pay attention to Yi Tianyun and directly attack the three realms divine realm. This made many domain masters who were watching this scene dumbfounded. Are they going to let Yi Tianyun go and then destroy his forces? But if they destroy the others' forces, at most they can't bring their forces up, they can still go up smoothly. But they are gambling that Yi Tianyun will go back to rescue them. When that time comes, he will take the initiative to attack them. Will he not have a chance to counterattack? As expected, Yi Tianyun's eyes were cold. He had already guessed that the other party might do this. After failing to succeed in their attacks, they turned to retaliate against his forces. It's not that they don't want to kill Yi Tianyun, but they are still unable to catch up to him, even after using all their strength. They were so close to catching up, but suddenly they sped up again. When they continued to unleash their power, Yi Tianyun sped up and increased his power again. It felt like the increase was endless, and they couldn't catch up. If this continues, they will definitely be the first to die. The constantly burning energy in their bodies is not endless. Now that they are angry, they will first destroy the three realms divine realm. After destroying the three realms divine realm and venting their anger, they will chase after Yi Tianyun. At the very least, if Yi Tianyun succeeds in holding out for a month, their forces will definitely be gone. But Yi Tianyun isn't worried. It's precisely because he expected this that he let his three senior brothers stand guard there. There are also many cultivators who are already in place. His initial plan was to weaken most of the other party's forces as quickly as possible. The remaining forces will be able to attack the three realms divine realm, which will reduce the pressure and reduce the casualties to the minimum. Now that they are all there, he will have to go back and fight. This is the real start. Hold on and we will win. Yi Tianyun licked his lips, his eyes full of fighting spirit. Chapter 1404. Under the lead of the two domain lords, they charged towards the god realm of the three realms. They couldn't be bothered with Yi Tianyun, leaving him behind. This was equivalent to giving the opportunity to the other god realms, but would the other god realms dare to snatch it? Even the two strongest god realms had failed. Unless Yi Tianyun personally gave the token core away, they felt that no one would be able to snatch it from him. The surrounding god realm scouts exchanged glances. They had never seen such a situation before. It could be said that the domain lords of the three realms were too heaven-defying. Their one-on-one combat abilities were top-notch. But in their opinion, if one person entered the god realm alone with decent cultivation, he would definitely be doomed. Unless he joined another god realm as a backer. But that would be a waste of a god realm spot. Originally, moving up was equivalent to gaining another divine territory, and there would be more resources to enjoy. Joining other forces would allow him to enjoy resources, but if he had a fourth-grade god realm, the resources would belong to him. There was no need to say which outcome was better. This was why they had chosen to retain their forces. This was what they meant. Unless they had helpers in the god realm, they could receive the resources. It was more or less the same. Yi Tianyun looked at their backs and chased after them, but he didn't rush toward the Saint Peak Domain Lord, but the Divine Monarch Realm cultivators. Spread out, everyone spread out. They began to shout, indicating for their subordinates to spread out and not be too concentrated. Otherwise they would be killed very quickly. He's here. He should have done this long ago. The Domain Lord's eyes were cold. Destroy their god realms. Even if he goes up later, he won't be able to do anything alone. Let senior brother and the others destroy this weak force immediately. If Tianyun succeeded, it would mean that they had failed. The outcome would definitely not be good, but at least it would reduce the difficulty. Tianyun would be the only one who could go up in the Three Realms God Realm. Then, they sped up. Tianyun chased after them, killing them one by one. Because they were scattered, it would take some time to destroy them. It could be said that it was equivalent to nibbling away at them bit by bit. The more it was like this, the more pain the two region lords felt in their hearts. These were all experts that they had spent a great deal of effort to nurture. Now that they were being killed one by one, how could they not be heartbroken? Very soon, they would reach the Three Realms Celestial Realm. As the Three Realms Celestial Realm was only a Grade 1 God Realm, it would not take long for them to reach the Three Realms Celestial Realm from Fanyu. We're finally at the divine domain of the Three Realms. Let's completely flatten them and exterminate them. Don't leave a single one alive. Domain Lord Wan Tian and the others were going crazy. Their eyes were red as they prepared to charge forward and kill. In their minds, there shouldn't be any experts in the divine realm of the Three Realms. The strongest should be Tianyun. Under such circumstances, the deity realm of the Three Realms could be easily destroyed. The rest of the subordinates' eyes were red. They were finally going to get revenge for their comrade, but the most important thing was that it was a type of humiliation. How could he not feel humiliated after being continuously beaten by a Grade 1 God Realm cultivator? The key was, what else could they do? They could only wait to be slaughtered. Under such circumstances, it was impossible for him to be in a good mood. Kill them all. One by one, they roared. The anger in their hearts was about to shoot out from their eyes. Tianyun continued to kill them one by one. He seemed to be in a hurry, but he could not continue to speed up. Despair. Soon, it will be your turn to despair. They revealed cruel smiles. They wanted to see Tianyun's expression of despair and unwillingness. As they charged in one by one, a cold light suddenly drifted over from all directions. Several god lords were directly dismembered into several pieces, dying instantly. Following that, countless tree branches that had turned into sharp swords pierced over, nailing many god lords in the void. One of the heavenly venerables was even killed instantly. The densely packed tree branches looked more like a city wall, blocking them here. At this moment, they felt two terrifying auras appear in front of them. Upon closer inspection, they were actually two middle-level heavenly venerables, one stronger than the other. Middle-level heavenly venerables? Didn't they say that there were no experts? Their hearts turned cold. They immediately felt that they had misjudged the information. It should be said that the information gathered by the people sent here was all wrong. During this period of time, the information they had gathered was that there were roughly two strongest experts. One was the Tianyun Region Lord, and the other was the Glazed Region Lord. They did not know how strong Tianyun's cultivation was, but the Glazed Region Lord knew that a cultivator who had just broken through to the Heavenly Venerables was no different from a child to them. Now that there were two middle-level Heavenly Venerables, they immediately felt that they had been deceived. Who said that the Three Realms Sacred Realm had no external help? How could they be weak when two middle-level Heavenly Venerables came directly? Boom! A violent energy rippled through the void, causing the two region lords' hearts to tremble. They quickly unleashed their strongest attacks and charged forward to block it. However, this berserk power turned into a violent fist that smashed through the layers of space in the void and smashed toward them. Under this punch, the two of them were directly sent flying, vomiting blood. Upper-level Heavenly Venerables? After being sent flying, they quickly adjusted the aura in their bodies and began to heal. Compared to their own injuries, what shocked them more was that the Three Realms Sacred Realm had upper-level Heavenly Venerables as support. This was really incredible. Even they could only invite one upper-level Heavenly Venerables at most, and the price they had to pay was extremely high. Now, the 3 realms sacred realm had upper-level heavenly venerables and 2 middle-level heavenly venerables. This was completely beyond their imagination. A trap? They were all dumbfounded. Previously, they thought that Eteonyun fought with them outside because he did not want the battle to affect the 3 realms sacred realm. Now it seemed that he was simply a liar. With 3 great heavenly venerables here, what was the point of fighting? Just 1 upper-level heavenly venerables was enough to suppress them. Even if they could not kill them, at least they would not even have the chance to come in and would be blocked outside. It was really too difficult to take down this token core. However, Eteonyun fighting alone outside was naturally not a trap. He really wanted to kill them alone, and did not want the flames of war to engulf the 3 realms sacred realm so quickly. Harvest begins. When Eteonyun caught up, he revealed a hint of a cold smile. His figure flashed rapidly. Accompanied by little flickers, Divine Lord after Divine Lord was easily killed. In the sacred realm, not only was his damage greatly increased, but he could also teleport extremely quickly. He was simply invincible. However, teleportation was not without restrictions. There was still a short cooldown time. Chapter 1405. There were 3 heavenly venerables in front of them, and Eteonyun was slaughtering them from behind. The 2-pronged attack made them wobble. Damn it! Run! The Sacred Peak Region Master and the others didn't think too much. They basically had no chance of winning against Heavenly Venerate Li and the others. In addition, there was Eteonyun at the side. They definitely had no chance of winning. Thus, they could only choose to run. If they didn't run, they would be the ones to die. Even if they failed, at least they would still be alive and could participate in the next Divine Realm battle. Do you think you can escape? Heavenly Venerate, mighty Heavenly Venerate, had already appeared behind them at some point in time. He raised his fist and punched towards them. He didn't use any equipment. He just raised his fists and punched at the 2 of them. Each punch covered a large area, making it impossible for them to escape. Dong, 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 the 2 of them were easily pushed back. The impact made them dizzy, and the blood in their bodies churned. Blood flowed from the corner of their mouths. They were slightly injured. This was just 1 punch, yet it could cause them so much damage. What if Heavenly Venerate Li used his full strength? They couldn't imagine it. Middle Heavenly Venerates could still fight against each other, but they felt powerless against Upper Heavenly Venerate. Their expressions were ugly. Didn't that mean they couldn't escape and could only die here? It wasn't just them. The others were also surrounded. More and more powerhouses from the 3 realms surrounded them from all directions. The weakest was at the Earth Monarch level, and most were God Monarch. The 2 divine realms had brought many heavenly venerates and God Monarch. At least half of them had been killed by Eteonyun. Now there were more than 100 left. It had to be said that the 3rd-grade divine realm was really strong. But what would a God Monarch do against a heavenly venerate? They would definitely be crushed. There weren't many heavenly venerates left in the 2 divine realms. Especially under the suppression of Eteonyun and Heavenly Venerate Long Ming, many were quickly killed. Before entering the Divine Realm, Eteonyun had prioritized killing Heavenly Venerate. The other God Monarchs aside, he had killed the strongest Heavenly Venerates first. Hence, the ones left were basically Divine Lords. The number of Heavenly Venerables that were still alive could be counted on one hand. It could be said that the 3 realms Celestial Realm had already won, and they were not afraid of the Sacred Peak Celestial Realm and the 10,000 Heavens Celestial Realm. Even if I die, I will drag a few down with me. Domain Lord Wantian roared angrily and flew towards other planets. The other God Monarchs did the same. He didn't clash with the divine realm of the 3 realms. Instead, he charged towards the other planets, wanting to carry out a frenzied massacre or self-destruct. But when they charged forward, a sharp beam suddenly spewed out from the planet. It transformed into a thick beam of light that enveloped them, annihilating the divine lords that were charging over. Under that shot, the Divine Lord was blasted to smithereens. This scene frightened the other Divine Lords, causing them to avoid it. They did not dare to come any closer. This terrifying attack had already reached the level of a half-step Empyrean. This wasn't the work of an expert, but the work of an offensive array on the planet. Ordinary God Lords would not be able to withstand the surging power. Only very powerful God Lords could withstand it or avoid it. Isn't this an offensive array? How could a mere first-grade divine realm have won? The group of God Lords was dumbfounded, including the heavenly venerables. They were all shocked by this scene. When the three senior brothers looked over, they were also a little surprised. They really didn't expect Etienne's forces to have such a powerful array. Even a third-grade divine realm might not have such a powerful array. Mainly because they didn't want to spend so much effort. To have such a powerful array on such a small planet, one had to admit that it was quite a feat. Boom, boom, boom. It wasn't just the small planet on the periphery. Many of the planets on the periphery also spewed out shocking attack. The God Lords that surrounded them were easily annihilated. There was no such thing as dragging someone down with them. If they rushed over, they would be the first to die. Without a doubt, their plan was foiled. They had failed. As for the Sacred Peak Region Lord and the others, the two of them charged in different directions. However, the ones blocking them were Heavenly Venerate Mighty Sky and Heavenly Venerate Dragon Cry. One was an upper-level Heavenly Venerate, while the other was a late-stage mid-level Heavenly Venerate. They were definitely stronger than them. When the two Heavenly Venerates intercepted them, they sent them flying back. There was no way they could run around. If we let you mess around, we'll have to disappoint little junior brother. Heavenly Venerate Mighty Sky's eyes were calm. This was the confidence that came from suppressing their cultivation base. In his opinion, these people were already dead. Little junior brother? Which force are you from? The Sacred Peak Region Lord and the others shouted. Dead people don't need to know so much. Heavenly Venerate Mighty Sky didn't waste any time. He raised his fist and punched. His fist shone with golden light. Previously it was invisible, but now it was golden. The mighty god's bloodline surged, and his entire arm became extremely thick. His strength instantly increased dozens of times. Under this violent punch, heaven and earth shattered. Everything began to be destroyed, including the Sacred Peak Region Lord. Obviously, the Sacred Peak Region Lord had used his strongest power, but in the face of this punch, he couldn't resist it at all. He was instantly destroyed. After he retracted his fist, there was nothing in front of him. Everything had been punched into nothingness. This is the power of an upper Heavenly Venerate, absolute power. No one can resist it. Successfully killed Sacred Peak Region Lord. Reward: 230,000 compressed EXP, 5000 compressed Crazy Point, 4000 compressed SP. Obtained Sacred Peak, Lower Heavenly Venerate Spirit Treasure, Sacred Peak Divine Chain, Middle Heavenly Venerate Spirit Treasure, Sacred Peak Divine Art. Killing a higher level Lord. Reward: 50,000 compressed EXP. Although he wasn't the one who killed the Sacred Peak Region Lord, he still got the corresponding reward. As expected of an upper Heavenly Venerate, he's too strong. Etienne was shocked. He didn't even need to do anything to kill the Sacred Peak Region Lord. His senior brother is really strong. He didn't need to use any Heavenly Venerate Spirit Treasure. He just used the power of his bloodline to kill the Sacred Peak Region Lord. This is true power, relying on one's own strength. On the other side, Heavenly Venerate Dragon Cry and Domain Lord Wan Tian were locked in a fierce battle. Both of them had the same cultivation level, so it depended on who had the advantage in other aspects. Only when one has the advantage can he win. Seal. Heavenly Venerate Dragon Cry used countless branches to form a huge cage in this huge space, trapping Domain Lord Wan Tian inside. Chapter 1406. The densely packed tree branches completely sealed off the surroundings, leaving no room for escape. Swish, a cold light flashed inside, a large number of branches were cut off, and a small area immediately opened up. Regardless of whether it was the sharp blade in his hand or the wings on his back, all of them turned into blade gleams that sliced through the surroundings, cutting down all the branches that were entangling him. You want to trap me with just this bit of strength? You're too naive. Domain Lord Wan Tian's eyes were cold. As long as he wasn't facing an upper heavenly master, he had a chance to escape or kill his opponent. Just as he was about to rush out, tree vines suddenly grew out of his body, and before he could react, he was already tied up. In the blink of an eye, Domain Lord Wan Tian was entangled by countless tree vines, like a dumpling. Without anyone noticing, the attack had implanted itself into his body, taking root in his body. Everything was so sudden, so terrifying. Let's end this. Countless branches spread out again, turning into countless green light spots. After condensing, it was Heavenly Master Long Ming. He didn't expect these dense branches to be his own body. After spreading out, it was equivalent to countless attacks. Domain Lord Wan Tian seemed to have cut off everything, but in fact, he had been implanted by Heavenly Master Long Ming's energy, quickly taking root and finally binding him. Without any warning, he was subdued just like that. What's going on? Domain Lord Wan Tian struggled, and in the end, countless tree vines came out of his nose, mouth, and ears, quickly sealing him completely. The moment he was sealed, Heavenly Master Long Ming stretched out his hand and wrapped the tree vines around Domain Lord Wan Tian, bursting him into a cloud of blood mist. The fierce method made many people's hearts tighten. A dignified Domain Lord Wan Tian was killed just like that? What a wonderful bloodline, what a wonderful martial art, Yi Tianyun sighed. Domain Lord Wan Tian's strength was good, but he was still lacking. The difference wasn't in strength, but in the strangeness of the move. Invading one's body without anyone noticing, and taking root in one's body, it was terrifying just thinking about it. With a burst of strangulation, everything turned into nothingness. Successfully killed Domain Lord Wan Tian. Reward, 210. 000 EXP 8. 000 Crazy Point 5. 000 SBS, obtained 10,000 Sky God Claw, Lower Empyrean Spirit Treasure, 10,000 Sky Wings, Middle Empyrean Spirit Treasure, 10,000 Sky God Art. You've killed someone of a higher level. You've gained an additional 50,000 compressed experience points. Like before, he could obtain experience and items. It was another bountiful harvest. So many Empyrean Spirit Treasures, it could be said that it could not be used at all. It should be said that he could not use them at all. These things were different from the 10,000 Gods Pagoda, which could be suppressed by controlling the artifact spirit. They all had artifact spirits, but the artifact spirits couldn't actively allow these attacks to attack, so they could only act as support. Therefore, only Yi Tianyun, who had the power of a heavenly lord, could control it. Otherwise, it would be like a pile of scrap metal that could not be used at all. As for the spoils of war, they naturally kept them. Even Heavenly Paragon Li had pocketed the spoils of war after killing the Sacred Peak Domain Lord. Although they came to help Yi Tianyun, it doesn't mean that they can't take the spoils of war. They were also short of resources, so the spoils of war still belonged to them, especially the spoils of war of those with high cultivation. Yi Tianyun didn't say much. Since they came to help, the spoils of war belonged to them. Anyway, he also got the spoils of war, so he didn't feel like he lost anything. Dead, both domain lords are dead. The elders and disciples who followed after saw their domain lords were easily killed, and their morale plummeted. Even their domain lord was killed. What else could they do to resist? Kill. Immediately, a group of people rushed up and killed these invaders, and Yi Tianyun also participated in the harvest. Luli Domain Lord, Elder Jiyu, and the others also went up together. As long as they have the ability, they will fight. They were all part of the divine realm of the three realms, so they couldn't just stand by and watch, so they were already prepared for this battle. It's over. Heavenly Paragon Lee and the others saw this scene, but they didn't attack the remaining divine lords, as it wasn't necessary for them to do so, and they could leave it to the cultivators of the divine realm of the three realms to handle it. Soon, these invaders were all annihilated. There was no suspense at all. When the leading domain lord was killed, the invasion was declared a failure. The strongest had been killed, and the rest were just cannon fodder. Is this a sure win? Tianyun heaved a sigh of relief. This time, their side didn't suffer any losses, not even a single casualty, and all the invaders were crushed. Actually, he was overly cautious. If he had flown here directly, the outcome would still be the same. The losses wouldn't be great, and it could even be said that there would be 0 losses. The divine realm of the three realms had been reinforced in all aspects, and with the help of external experts, it wouldn't be a problem to win this battle. However, Tianyun had been too cautious, and he wanted 0 losses. That was why he had taken on all of this by himself, wanting to destroy a group of invaders first. Even if the remaining invaders attacked the divine realm of the three realms, they would be able to deal with them easily. Now, it seemed that he had been overthinking. Just Heavenly Paragon Lee alone was enough to suppress the 2 domain lords. It's not over yet, it's only just begun. Heavenly Paragon Lee flew to Tianyun's side, looked at the token core in his hand, and said, "It hasn't even been a week. There's still half a month left. During this time, anything can happen. We killed the domain lords of the 2 divine domains. What else can they do to us?" Tianyun said with a frown. "There is, and it just so happens that the 2 domain lords will retaliate in the end." Heavenly Paragon Lee's expression was solemn, and he didn't look like he was joking. Their final retaliation. Could it be that they're willing to give up their rights to destroy us? Tianyun's expression changed. "Yes, that's what I mean." Heavenly Venerate Force's expression was solemn as he said, "Since you can't get it, then don't even think about others getting it. That's what I meant." However, in the end, the one who obtained the token core could be another god realm, or even their puppet god realm. Maybe it won't be the ending they imagined, but at least they won't give the opportunity to others. Tianyun's expression darkened. It seemed that this was indeed the case. At that time, wouldn't it mean that many Middle Empyreans, or even Upper Empyreans, would be rushing over? At that time, wouldn't the reinforcements from the 2 divine realms attack us? Tianyun said in a low voice. Chapter 1407. The battle was temporarily over. The situation here quickly spread to the Sacred Peak Sacred Realm and the Myriad Heaven Sacred Realm. It could even be said that the entire outer Sacred Realm was shocked. The three realms' Sacred Realm had completely wiped out the invaders from the 2 Sacred Realms. This meant that 2 Sacred Realms could not compare to a first-grade Sacred Realm. It would be a joke if word got out. Who would have thought that a mere Grade 1 God Realm would be able to suppress 2 Grade 3 God Realms? No one would believe it if they told others about it. But the truth was right in front of them. They could only choose to believe it. While shocking the other Sacred Realms, it also caused a huge commotion in the Myriad Heaven Sacred Realm and the Sacred Peak Sacred Realm. One by one, the foreign reinforcements slammed the table in anger. Murderous intent immediately filled the entire hall. A group of guards trembled at the side, completely unable to withstand the aura. "I didn't expect to lose. Our Myriad Heaven Sacred Realm actually lost to a first-grade Sacred Realm. What a disgrace." "That's right. Hurry up and activate the second plan. Let's settle for a puppet Sacred Realm. Yes, let's do it this way. There's no time to lose. Move out immediately." All the foreign reinforcements from the Myriad Heaven Sacred Realm were immediately mobilized without any reservations. The Sacred Peak Sacred Realm was like a chess piece that had been discarded. Everything had been abandoned. There were no experts stationed here at all. This meant that if a strong enemy invaded, the myriad heaven sacred realm would definitely be occupied. Originally, the myriad heaven domain lord had already led all the experts out. The rest were the powerful reinforcements. Now that all the powerful reinforcements had left, the strongest remaining were only Earth monarchs. Any random heaven monarch would be able to occupy it easily. It would truly be a mockery when the time came. Not only the myriad heaven sacred realm, but even the sacred peak sacred realm was also in an uproar. It's the reinforcements from vast heavenly sovereign's side. I didn't expect the three realms sacred realm to be in cahoots with vast heavenly sovereign. Damn it, I should have thought of this guy earlier. But wasn't vast heavenly sovereign injured by Godkiller heavenly sovereign? How can he still participate in this sacred realm battle? I'm not sure. In any case, he often confronts us in the inner sacred realm. In that case, we won't hold back anymore. We'll go all out and destroy the three realms' sacred realm. Activate the second plan. Let the other god realms take the spots. Saint Peak God Domain side was even more furious. Through the influence of the scouts, they immediately saw the situation of Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others and immediately recognized them. Following that, all the experts of the Sacred Peak God realm moved out. Just like the myriad Heaven God realm, they abandoned the Sacred Peak God realm. It had to be said that this was very decisive. He threw it away without any hesitation. To them, as long as it was worthless, they would discard it without holding anything back. Just like the myriad heaven divine realm, it immediately became a sacrificial pawn, directly abandoned. With a large number of people mobilized, it could be said that experts had gathered and were charging towards the divine realm of the three realms. The god realm of the three realms had also made their preparations. All the experts were gathered together with solemn expressions, ready to fight at any time. At that time, there will definitely be a large number of experts coming to kill us. Little junior brother, you have to be prepared. Casualties are inevitable. All we can do is defend the god domain of the three realms and obtain the final victory. Only then will we be able to face our fallen subordinates. Heavenly Lord Force said in a deep voice. I know that, but I will still fight for it. Tianyun nodded. With a large group of experts charging over, it was unlikely that there would be no casualties. However, he would try his best to achieve no casualties. He wanted to challenge himself and not resign himself to fate. Heavenly Lord Force did not say much. He only shook his head. He couldn't help but sigh at Tianyun's lack of knowledge. He had never seen anyone who could win a divine realm battle without suffering any casualties. It should be said that victory was victory, and casualties were completely negligible. Right now, the god domain of the three realms was very quiet. However, this was the eve of a storm, and it could erupt at any time. Everyone was extremely nervous, and an oppressive atmosphere permeated the surroundings. They're here, Heavenly Lord Force said in a deep voice. Soon, a large group of powerful forces tore through the space in front and came over. Immediately after, Heavenly Venerables appeared in front of them. The lowest cultivation level was at the middle level Heavenly Venerables, and the highest cultivation level was at the upper level Heavenly Venerables. However, they were only at the early level. There were no mid-level Heavenly Venerables. In an instant, 8 Heavenly Venerables appeared, all of them at the middle-level Heavenly Venerables or above. This scene was truly frightening. With so many powerhouses suddenly appearing, their terrifying auras caused space to distort, as if it would collapse at any moment. Everyone's complexions darkened. This was the strength of external reinforcements. 8 middle-level Heavenly Venerables and above powerhouses. Their combined strength completely crushed the Heavenly Venerables on Tianyun's side. On Tianyun's side, there were 2 middle-level Heavenly Venerables and 1 upper-level Heavenly Venerables. His opponents were 7 middle-level Heavenly Venerables and 1 upper-level Heavenly Venerables. The upper-level Heavenly Venerables were evenly matched, but the middle-level heavenly venerables had a large gap and were directly crushed. The disparity in strength was immediately reflected here. In the end, the strength of external reinforcements was still stronger than their opponent. The moment they appeared, the Saint Peak Divine Realm was removed from the Divine Realm battle. They could no longer participate in the Divine Realm battle and could only wait for the next round. If they casually participated in the Divine Realm battle, that would be the same as violating the rules. If they violated the rules, they would be judged. Of course, this had nothing to do with the powerhouses of the inner Divine Realm. They didn't belong here, so the rules couldn't restrict them. This felt extremely unfair, but what was fair in this world? As expected, you are disciples under Empyrean vast expanse. Does your vast divine sect wish to participate in this Divine Realm battle? Empyrean Scarlet soaring icily glared at Empyrean Strength and the others. This has nothing to do with the vast divine sect. It is us who want to participate in the battle. What problem is there with that? Empyrean Strength directly refuted Empyrean Scarlet Soaring's words. Nonsense. You want to participate in the battle of your own volition? These words can fool a 3-year-old child, but you want to deceive us? Empyrean Scarlet Soaring coldly said, no matter what your goals are, we are all enemies in the inner divine realm, and here is no exception. I want to see just what level the disciples of the vast divine sect are at. Just as they were preparing to fight, the void around them twisted and a group of people broke through the void, landing on the side. On the other side, 8 Empyrean powerhouses also appeared. They were also composed of 7 middle-level Empyreans and 1 upper-level Empyrean. Chapter 1408. This batch of heavenly venerables was undoubtedly the heavenly venerables of the myriad heaven sacred realm. There were also 8 heavenly venerables, exactly the same as the Sacred Peak sacred realm. When they appeared, they exchanged glances with the Sacred Peak sacred realm heavenly venerables and saw the shock in each other's eyes. They didn't expect that their opponents would also come here and have the same number as them. Each of the sacred realm heavenly venerables thought that they had sent enough reinforcement. They speculated that the opponent's reinforcements would be 5 at most. Who knew that they would send 8 reinforcements? They were really strong. So it's Heavenly Venerable 9 Hong. I didn't expect that we would meet in this way. Heavenly Venerable Scarlet Soaring's eyes were cold, full of killing intent. Without a doubt, the two of them were enemies. It should be said that their relationship was originally hostile. It was obvious from the sacred realm they were sent to. However, there were also non-hostile ones. Some were paid to do things or were sent to do tasks. As for hostility between the sacred realms, this was a common thing. Whether it was the inner sacred realm or the outer sacred realm, it was common. Oh, I didn't expect to see you here either. Heavenly Venerable 9 Hong snorted coldly, his eyes full of killing intent. However, they didn't make a move immediately and just looked at each other. The hostility was very strong, but they had no intention of making a move. They knew what their current goal was, and that was to destroy the sacred realm of the 3 realms. This way, the token core would immediately become an ownerless object and be fought over again. They couldn't keep it with them, and as long as they touched it, they would be punished immediately. This didn't prevent them from destroying Tianyun. Destroying him would allow them to fight over it again. Therefore, apart from them, there were also other puppet sacred realm powerhouses coming over. Their cultivation was only at the lower heavenly venerable level, enough to hold down a grade 2 sacred realm. These were the puppets to be fought over. The Sacred Peak sacred realm was the same, bringing along their puppet forces. After destroying the sacred realm of the 3 realms, they would fight over it. Is that so? Then let's destroy the sacred realm together and fight? Heavenly Venerable Scarlet Soaring's eyes were full of fighting spirit. No problem, then let's destroy the sacred realm of the 3 realms first. Then it'll depend on our own ability. Heavenly Venerable 9 Hong immediately reached a consensus with the other party. They decided to destroy the sacred realm of the three realms first before fighting over it. Originally, they were supposed to fight each other, and whoever won would snatch it. However, their losses were too great. If they didn't destroy the divine realm of the three realms, they wouldn't be able to resolve the hatred in their hearts. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'll first destroy the god realm of the three realms, then snatch it from each other. After reaching a consensus, Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others had grave expressions. This wasn't a good thing. There were 16 Heavenly Venerables, and the weakest was a middle-level Heavenly Venerate. If they fought, he would really be suppressed. Although the three of them were powerful, they still couldn't compare to them. The gap between them was too big. For example, Empyrean Li was very strong, but the other side also had two upper Empyreans. 1 against 2, how could he not be suppressed? As for the other two senior brothers, it was the same. Even if they were very strong, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. They were unable to withstand the encirclement and were completely suppressed. From their serious expressions, it could be seen that they were taking this matter very seriously. They had already raised their strength to the maximum and were prepared for a great battle. It's been a long time since I fought a fierce battle. 2 sword lights flickered in Heavenly Venerable Sword C's eyes. 6 swords appeared in his hands at an unknown time, and he was ready to fight a crazy battle at any time. Heavenly Venerable Dragon Cry even revealed his dragon body. On the originally thick tree bark there were even thick dragon scales. Under such circumstances, one's defensive power could be said to have risen in a straight line, reaching a heaven-defying level. Heavenly Venerable Li Tian also unleashed his strength god bloodline. Blue veins popped up on his arms, and he could erupt with his strongest power at any time. The preparation of the 3 made the 16 Heavenly Venerables in front of them laugh in disdain. Facing the 16 of us, you still aren't willing to give up. Your spirit is really commendable, Heavenly Venerable Scarlet Soaring said disdainfully. However, even if you want to run, we won't let you. The 3 of them were accomplices, and they annihilated so many Heavenly Venerables of the 2 god realms. How could they escape? Don't worry, we never thought of escaping. Heavenly Venerable Sword C sneered. Since we decided to help little junior brother, we can't retreat. Tianyun was extremely touched. Under normal circumstances, this would definitely be a desperate situation. If they hired people to come over, they would definitely run and not stay here. The difference between the 2 was too great, and it was already a dead end. Under such circumstances, could they not escape? But the 3 of them did not escape. As long as they firmly believed that Tianyun was their junior brother and agreed to these things, they would not go back on their word. Escape? I've never escaped. If you want to fight, then come and fight. Heavenly Venerable Li Tian clenched his fists tightly, long prepared to fight to the death. That's right. How can we possibly go back on something we promised? Heavenly Venerable Dragon Cry's gaze was icy cold. Especially when it's our opponent. Who knows who will kill who? Their auras confronted each other, filled with fighting spirit. Is that so? Then charge over and trample them. Heavenly Venerable Scarlet Soaring did not continue being long-winded. He stopped, to a large extent, because he had discussed the plan with Heavenly Venerable Nine Hong. Now that both of them had the same goal, it was easy to negotiate. With a word of command, everyone attacked. Not just them, even the Heavenly Venerables of the myriad Heaven Divine Realm rushed over one after another. 16 Heavenly Venerables surrounded them. It looked very spectacular, and there was no way to escape. Senior brothers, fight with all your strength. There's no need to worry about anything, Tianyun said from the side, startling them. They did not know what he meant. We will. We must fight with all our strength. Later on, none of us will be able to take care of them. You must be careful. Heavenly Venerable Li and the others hurriedly nodded and immediately summoned their strongest Heavenly Venerable Spirit treasures. Those who could summon two absolutely would not only summon one. At this time, if they still hid their strength, that would be courting death. Glazed Region Master and the others also prepared to fight. They were inferior to a middle-level Heavenly Venerable, but now that they had to face him, they would try their best to resist. When they said they wanted to participate in the Divine Realm battle, they were already prepared to die. Immediately, they started fighting. Heavenly Venerable Li took on two upper-level Heavenly Venerables by himself, while Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others began to clash head-on with the other middle-level Heavenly Venerables. Glazed Region Master and the others were the same. They all had a plan to move around and attack, not daring to attack head-on. Chapter 1409. The battle was almost one-sided. Even Heavenly Venerate Li Tian couldn't hold on for too long. This was just the beginning, and they were already at a disadvantage. If this continued, they would lose without a doubt. Stop struggling. With your strength, you will lose without a doubt. Heavenly Venerate Zhouhong and the others were full of joy. They were ready to see an upper-level Heavenly Venerate die in their hands. Moreover, it was an expert from an opposing force. How could they not feel happy? Heavenly Venerate Li Tian and the others had grave expressions. If this continued, they would really lose. At this time, a green divine light bloomed in all directions. Immediately, a huge phantom of a giant tree appeared in the void, almost enveloping a large area of the God realm of the three realms. Immediately after, beams of green light enveloped their bodies, making them feel full of vitality, and their condition immediately reached its peak. Everyone looked over and found that the one who used this move was actually Yi Tianyun. Now, Yi Tianyun had already changed into the Voodoo Wood Divine set, and the healing effects were almost fully activated. Perhaps a certain amount of combat power would be sacrificed, but the key was to protect everyone and prolong the battle. Once the Voodoo Wood Divine set was activated, it was as if the entire God realm of the three realms was filled with vitality. However, only the people of the God realm of the three realms benefited. Invaders wouldn't enjoy this vitality. The powerful vitality shocked everyone. Wouldn't this mean that they were in a super strong healing state? The answer was very obvious. The cultivators who were previously injured were now recovering rapidly. Even if their limbs were broken, they could regenerate extremely quickly. It looked very terrifying. This could greatly increase the healing ability, so the effect naturally wouldn't be too bad. For example, on Heavenly Venerate Li's side, his wounds were rapidly recovering, and his original injuries were quickly healed. Heavenly Venerate Sword Ruler and the others were the same. They quickly recovered, and their mental state was instantly raised to the extreme. What a strong healing ability! Heavenly Venerate Sword Ruler and the others gasped. They had seen people with strong healing abilities, but rarely had they seen people who could enhance their healing effect. Moreover, the enhancement effect was very shocking, and the range was extremely terrifying. It could be said that it covered the entire battlefield. It could even affect people on their side, as long as their heads weren't blown up and their souls were destroyed. The injuries on his body would quickly recover. If they couldn't recover in a short time, they could quickly recover by hiding a little further away. This kind of effect was something they had never seen before. The one who created this miracle was their junior brother. To the people of the three realms, Yi Tianyun was an omnipotent god. Again, Heavenly Lord Strength laughed heartily. As if he had gone mad, he punched forward fiercely. Every punch landed on flesh with astonishing force. As for the attacks of Heavenly Sovereign Nine Vast and the others, it could be said that they were completely disregarded. Although they suffered significant injuries when they struck them, with the help of this terrifying healing ability, they recovered very quickly. It could be said that the speed at which he recovered was faster than the injuries he suffered. He was only slightly injured, but he immediately recovered. He could be said to have an undying body. Kill! Celestial Venerable Sword C unleashed his full strength, killing his way into the midst of the enemies in a single breath. With a shocking aura, he slashed horizontally across the waist, immediately beheading a celestial venerable. A terrifying power erupted from him without any scruples. This was all thanks to the fact that he wasn't afraid of getting injured. Heavenly Venerate Dragon Cry, who already had an astonishing healing ability, became even crazier. With the support of the Wizard Wood Divine Set, his heaven-defying healing ability became even stronger. As long as he suffered an injury, even if it was a severed arm or a leg, he could recover in the blink of an eye. It made people suspect whether or not he chopped a fake arm. Of course, his arm would not be chopped off. It was just that under the enhancement of the healing ability, his offensive became extremely terrifying. It was as if he did not care for his life, killing into the midst of celestial venerates. Under their tyranny, he actually killed 2 middle-level celestial venerates in a row. The originally extremely valuable middle-level celestial venerates were killed consecutively today, making them endlessly furious. What is this guy's background? Just what move is this, to be so heaven-defying? Heavenly Sovereign Nine Vast and the others were alarmed and furious. Seeing Tianyun continuously displaying his healing ability, making heavenly venerable strength and the others seemingly become undying bodies. Under this kind of state, the power that erupted was even more astonishing. For example, they were usually very cautious when fighting, afraid of getting injured. Once they were seriously injured, it would affect their combat strength. Now that they did not have this aspect to worry about, they kept charging over crazily. On the other hand, they did not dare to get injured. Even if they had decent medicinal pills, they could not recover immediately. No matter what background he has, kill him first. Empyrean Red Soaring immediately gave the order, making the other Empyreans ignore Empyrean Swordsea They should eliminate Tianyun first before talking. As long as they eliminated Tianyun, there would not be this super strong healing ability anymore. Yes. Immediately, there were 7 Empyreans rushing over towards Tianyun's side. So many Empyreans rushing over all at once, they really thought highly of him enough. Oh, 7 Empyreans came all at once. Truly a pile of fat lambs coming over. Tianyun grinned. He did that just now just to reduce the casualties. It did not mean that he did not have combat strength. Kill. 7 Empyreans rushed over, making everyone's hearts tremble. They wanted to help Tianyun, but there was nothing they could do. Regardless of whether it was speed or power, they were left behind by a great deal. Under this kind of situation, how could they still help? Little junior brother. The 3 senior brothers' eyes turned intent, wanting to turn around and go help, but how could the others go and help? Weren't you fighting quite arrogantly just now? Continue to fight with us. Empyrean Nine Hong and the others laughed loudly and quickly surrounded, blocking Empyrean Li firmly, not letting him go and help. Empyrean Dragon Cry and the others were the same. They were quickly blocked, not letting them go and help no matter what. When the 7 of them came over, Tianyun suddenly disappeared on the spot. Before they came back to their senses, an extreme green light pierced through the head of one of them, directly blasting him into pieces. At this time, the astral divine spear in Tianyun's hand had already turned into a green long spear, condensing a dazzling green light. Even if it was wood attribute, the power was still shocking. Especially under the powerful title's power, Tianyun's superimposed power was already as high as 182 times the damage, and this did not include the increase in power in the martial arts aspect. In front of him, middle-level Empyreans were like slaughtering chickens and dogs. One move to kill, simple to the extreme. The key was that he was not afraid of getting injured. He directly rushed over, waved the astral divine spear in his hand, and slashed horizontally across the waist. The long spear in his hand was like a sharp sword. Even the body of the spear could be cut into 2 at the waist. Chapter 14:10. After Tianyun consecutively cut down 2 middle-level heavenly venerables, they came to their senses. They had encountered a monster who was not so easy to deal with. Not only was he monstrous enough, but he was also a madman. Waving the Star Divine spear in his hand, he attacked with no regard for his life. The key was that everything was so strange. Just as he was about to fight, he disappeared in the next moment. When he appeared again, another middle-level heavenly venerables had fallen. They had no idea how Tianyun had teleported over, and they didn't feel it at all. Even the divine light that enveloped Tianyun disappeared. Originally, under the illumination of this divine light, there was no place to hide, but now there was a short blank time, which shocked them. Ding successfully killed middle-level heavenly venerables, early stage, obtained experience. Ding successfully killed middle-level heavenly venerables, middle stage, obtained experience. Tianyun reaped their lives in a frenzy. Only now did they truly realize that Heavenly Venerables Sword Judge and Heavenly Venerables Long Ming were actually just here to go through the motions. The truly heaven-defying one was still Tianyun himself. By the time they reacted, more than half of the Heavenly Venerables sent over were already dead. In the blink of an eye, 4 middle-level Heavenly Venerables were gone. This kind of loss was equivalent to losing an arm. On the contrary, Tianyun became more and more ferocious as he killed, reaping their lives almost like he was cutting melons and vegetables. The Heavenly Venerables who originally wanted to chase after Tianyun turned and fled. How could they chase after him crazily like before? Now it was too late to escape. Imagine so many middle-level Heavenly Venerables being chased around by one person. It was enough to prove how strange it was. Since you're here, don't run anymore. Fight this battle before you leave. Tianyun's figure flickered and arrived in front of the middle-level Heavenly Venerables. He swept his long spear over, and the sharp green light turned into a sharp spear light that strangled the middle-level Heavenly Venerables. I'll fight it out with you! This middle-level Heavenly Venerable's eyes turned red. He knew that he had no way of avoiding this. He could only fight to the death with Tianyun. A life for a life, let's see who can withstand it. A middle-level Empyrean released his 2 Empyrean spirit treasures, burning them with their greatest strength, turning them into sharp beams of light that shot out. Tianyun completely ignored him, continuing to clash head-on with this middle-level Empyrean. He didn't even dodge, using his physical body to block. Boom! The two of them clashed head-on. A middle Empyrean was blasted apart by a single spear strike, but Tianyun's body was also riddled with several holes, as well as several wounds so deep that bones could be seen. Before the middle-level Empyrean lost consciousness, he had thought that he could repel Tianyun. But now it seemed that he had been too naive. Tianyun wasn't afraid of getting injured at all. Instead, he took it head-on. Immediately, the wounds on Tianyun's body began to heal. In the blink of an eye, they were completely healed. There was not a single gap left. Under the state of transforming into Voodoo Wood God, healing ability increased by 500 times. Directly one-shotting other Empyreans' recovery ability, even Empyrean Long Ming might not have such an effect. After everyone saw it, they immediately sucked in a cold breath. As long as it could not directly crush Tianyun's soul, then he could revive. The terrifying power made their hearts tremble incomparably. How could they still dare to continue staying here? They turned tail and ran. Tianyun was considered an undying body now. Who still dared to clash head-on with him? Clashing head-on with him might as well clash head-on with Empyrean Swordsea they all. At least, they wouldn't be so freakish. His movements were strange, his body's healing ability super strong, and his own strength was also extremely tyrannical. Under such circumstances, what was there to still fight? Damn it, what background does that guy have? So monstrous? At the same time that Empyrean 9 Vast they all were fighting crazily with Empyrean Li, they observed Tianyun's side, their hearts immediately turning cold. originally thought that so many Empyreans rushing over, they could exterminate the other party. Now, the people they sent over were exterminated, and it was even so easily. Haha, this is our little junior brother, a very powerful little junior brother. Empyrean Li Li and the others laughed loudly. One had to say that Yi Tianyun gave them a huge surprise. Not only was his own strength extremely powerful, but it seemed to be a lot more powerful than before. They did not know how Yi Tianyun did it, but the stronger their junior brother was, the better. Originally, they thought that it would be a battle to the death. Who knew that Yi Tianyun created a miracle, making them all extremely shocked. Especially with his current strength, they felt that he did not even need their help, and Yi Tianyun could protect the divine realm of the three realms. They thought so, but Yi Tianyun would not think so. It was very likely that an unexpected situation would occur. Things that could reduce the damage to the minimum. He definitely had to do it. Everything had to be done a little more perfectly. Absolutely no accidents were allowed. Hence, he would rather have a little more powerhouses holding down the fort than to hold down the fort alone, unless he had absolute strength. For example, if his cultivation reached the level of Empyrean, then he would not ask for external help. It was different now. If the Empyreans spread out, then it would be different. Just relying on numerous grand arrays could not stop them at all. Don't tangle with them anymore, disperse from me, and destroy the divine realm of the three realms. Empyrean Nine Hong shouted in exasperation. This time, he changed tactics again, and did not tangle with them anymore. Even if they could not exterminate Yi Tianyun, they had to at least destroy the divine realm of the three realms. Immediately, the other Empyreans attacked other places one after another, damaging a little bit counted. Following that, they spread out in all directions in the form of wandering. But the more they did so, the one who suffered instead was themselves. Yi Tianyun's gaze turned cold, continuing to shift over, intercepting in front of those Empyreans, and smashing fiercely. If you want to destroy my power, then give me your life. Stop them! Region Master Glaze and the rest immediately surrounded over. What they used was not their own strength, but mobilized the grand arrays that had long been set up, surrounding from all directions, wanting to trap these Empyreans. They had no way of fighting with Empyreans, but it did not mean that they could not trap them. The grand array that was set up previously was prepared for them. Even if it was just blocking for a short while, it was already sufficient. For a bunch of Divine Lord cultivation powerhouses to be able to stop a middle-level Empyrean, it was already astonishing enough. Damn it, these trash actually still have such a grand array. There were quite a few middle-level Empyreans who were really trapped under these densely packed grand arrays. This instant being trapped, Yi Tianyun successfully rushed over, a spear piercing over, killing this middle-level Empyrean. Chapter 14:11. Under the frenzy of Yi Tianyun and the others, many Empyreans were wiped out one after another. Although they were only trapped for a short while, it was enough time for powerhouses to exchange blows. They could arrive in front of them in an instant and kill them in one fell swoop. Originally, the speed of wiping them out should not be so fast, but Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others went all out. As long as they protected their souls, they did not have to worry about their bodies being damaged at all. They completely let them attack. After being attacked, they would recover immediately, so they had a great advantage in fighting. They needed to dodge when fighting the opponent, but the opponent could not be bothered to fight them, so they directly clashed head-on. All of a sudden, the 16 Empyreans were reduced to less than 7, 2 of which were even being held back by Heavenly Venerable Strength. This meant that there were only 5 middle-level Empyreans left, which meant that the threat was greatly reduced. It could even be said that there was no danger at all. With Yi Tianyun's heaven-defying teleportation ability, they could not run far before they were intercepted by him. Use Cooling Divine Stone. Teleport. Yi Tianyun's tidal teleportation had a cooldown time limit, so he had to use Cooling Divine Stone. He kept buying a large pile in the shop and smashing them on his cooldown time. The price of cooling divine stone was not bad, it could reduce the cooldown time by a certain amount each time. The stronger the skill, the weaker the cooldown effect. But no matter how weak it could still be reduced. If one didn't work, then he would smash 10 cooling divine stones down and see if it could still be cooled down. Therefore, he had unlimited teleportation, intercepting them in front, unable to cause any further damage to the three realms. Moreover, no matter how much the price was, as long as it could repel them, it was worth it no matter how much it cost. Damn it, retreat immediately, retreat immediately! This kind of situation scared Heavenly Venerable Nine Hong and the others so much that they wanted to immediately retreat from this place, not daring to continue staying here any longer. If they continued to stay here, they would definitely be the ones to die. Originally, there were 8 that came separately, and now there were less than 3 or 4 left. It was simply too tragic to look at. At that time, even if they escaped back to the God realm, they would be punished. I'm just having fun fighting, what's the hurry to leave? Heavenly Venerable Strength laughed loudly and opened his hand, stopping them. He could not kill them, but stopping them was not a problem. Even if he couldn't kill them, he could at least make them suffer for a while. It wasn't just Heavenly Sovereign Li and the others. The other cultivators of the God realm of the 3 realms were also beating them while they were down. They continued to activate the great array formations around them, forming a dense net of light that enveloped them, wanting to capture them. The moves were the same as before, nothing new. But it was this kind of ordinary move that could stop them for a while. Even if it was only for a few seconds, it was more than enough. With the help of many local powerhouses in the 3 realms' deity realm, the remaining Empyreans were finally wiped out by Yi Tianyun. Of the dozen or so Empyreans he brought, only 2 were left. The rest of the God's realm puppets, who were observing the situation nearby, were so scared that their legs turned to jelly. They turned around and fled. Yi Tianyun could not be bothered with them. They already knew which celestial territory it was. When the time came, he would slowly settle the score. Right now, he had to deal with these big shots first. Only you 2 are left. Yi Tianyun and the others flew over one after another. A group of people surrounded the 2 upper Empyreans. Heavenly Sovereign Jian Si and the others prepared to join the battle and suppress them together with Heavenly Sovereign Li. Even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. Heavenly Sovereign Nine Hong and the others roared. The power that was already burning was completely stimulated once again. This time, it was a complete eruption. It consumed all of their energy, including their souls, blood, and even their physical bodies. They were all exploding and burning. Previously, when facing Heavenly Sovereign Li, they were already violent enough and stimulated all of their potential. Now, they were even burning all of their energy. Even if Yi Tianyun let them go later, they would be considered half-crippled. No, the 2 of them aren't exploding. They are drawing on some kind of power. Heavenly Sovereign Li frowned. He felt that the fluctuations in the void were a little different. It was obvious that they were summoning something and were not going all out. Heavenly Sovereign Li wasn't the only one who sensed it. Yi Tianyun also sensed it. The void vibrated with terrifying power as if something would come out at any time. That's right, hurry up and stop them! Yi Tianyun hurriedly shouted. Heavenly Sovereign Sword Si and the others had grave expressions. They immediately erupted with their strongest power and attacked Heavenly Sovereign Nine Hong and Heavenly Sovereign Red soaring together. Yi Tianyun quickly changed into the evil Lord of Heaven Set and raised his power to the limit. The stellar divine spear in his hand swung wildly and rapidly pierced forward. Boom! 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 The 4 of them joined forces and attacked fiercely. However, they were unable to break through this defensive barrier for a while. Yi Tianyun quickly realized that this barrier was cast by the 2 of them. It was quite sturdy. Even if the 4 of them joined forces and attacked fiercely, it would take some time to destroy it. He didn't expect that at this time, The two forces that were a little hostile to each other would actually join forces. It seemed like the enemy of an enemy was a friend. Under this crisis, they even joined forces. It's useless. I said that even if I die, I'll let you die with me. Heavenly Sovereign Nine Hong laughed loudly, blood dripping from the corners of his mouth. However, it evaporated very quickly, turning into countless energy that gushed into the void. That's right. Either way, we're going to die when we go back. Might as well fight it out with you. Heavenly Sovereign Red Soaring looked at Heavenly Sovereign Nine Hong and said with a big laugh, I didn't expect that I would actually join forces with you in the end and use this kind of move. What a great irony. Then let's fight again in the next life. Heavenly Sovereign Nine Hong laughed loudly, his eyes full of resentment. What they hated the most right now was Tianyun. All their plans were messed up, leading to the current situation of defeat. The higher-ups would not accept the situation of defeat. When they returned, they would definitely be severely punished or even killed. Since that was the case, they might as well die together. Under the laughter, their bodies rapidly dissipated, all turning into energy that gathered and fusing in the void. Two great upper-level heavenly venerables sent all their energy up. Who knew what kind of monster would be summoned? Huff, huff, huff. At this time, a huge light barrier formed in the void. Images appeared on it as if it was replaying some scenes. This is space-time sacrifice? Heavenly Venerable Force's expression changed. Space-time sacrifice? Tianyun looked up, and very soon, detailed information appeared in front of him. Space-time sacrifice. Contribute all one's energy, able to rewind the past space-time and summon the corresponding powerhouse out. At the same time, one will suffer heavy injuries or even die. The summoned space-time powerhouse can only stay for a day at most. Very soon, a figure slowly appeared in the distorted space, walking out of that image. Wielding a blood-red divine sword, his eyes were incomparably red, and a murderous aura was released. Heavenly Venerable Killer God. Chapter 14:12. The powerhouse that emerged from space-time was actually Empyrean Death God. Heavenly Venerable Death God had clearly been killed, so how had he come back to life? In truth, Empyrean Death God hadn't come back to life. Rather, he had been recalled by space-time backtracking. In theory, he was revived, but he could only live for a day. This meant that he could only stay in this world for a day before disappearing and leaving this world once more. It didn't matter how long Empyrean Death God had been here. Now, he had reappeared, and he had even appeared in the form of a king. Sharp killing intent spread in all directions. The formless killing intent could only be felt, but not touched. Just a little bit of it was enough to make the cultivators feel a little confused. The situation had become especially bad, and they had the urge to lose their minds. Empyrean Death God? Tianyun's pupils shrank. Empyrean Death God's cultivation was at the middle upper Empyrean level, not the late upper Empyrean level. It could only be said that the two of them sacrificed themselves to summon Empyrean Death God, who was a middle Empyrean, was already quite amazing. Empyrean Godslayer. Upper Empyrean Mid-Empyrean cultivation base. He has an extremely powerful killing intent and can condense it into any form to attack. Wherever the murderous aura passed, not only could it steal the souls of others, but it could also shatter the void. Comprehensive combat power. 10 billion points of star power in a state of moderate outburst. Weaknesses, none. 10 billion star power points. That was quite a shocking combat power. Heavenly Venerate Mighty Heavenly Venerate could only unleash 8 billion points of star power at most. And this was the extreme state. Heavenly Venerate Godslayer was 2 billion points more powerful than him. The key was that he was in the intermediate state, not the strongest state. If it really erupted, no one would be able to stop it without at least 12 to 13 billion. There was no way the mighty sky Heavenly Venerate could win in such a situation. It was still fine if they were both upper heavenly venerables, but now that they were facing a middle heavenly venerate, it was completely different. Moreover, this was Empyrean killing god, a peerless powerhouse that caused others to tremble in fear at the mere mention of his name. The pupils of heavenly exaltly and the others constricted as well. Their hearts had fallen to rock bottom while a chill surged out from their hearts. It was fine if he was a middle-stage upper Empyrean, but he was a monster like Empyrean Godslayer. As for the mark of the vast Empyrean, it didn't exist at all. The state of space-time backtracking was undoubtedly a state where he had not been attacked. Therefore, he would not have any attack marks on his body. That's right, it's Heavenly Venerate killing God. We're done for this time. Heavenly Venerate Force revealed a bitter smile. It was true that they possessed extraordinary regenerative abilities, but in the face of the terrifying Heavenly Venerate killing God, a single slash of his sword could slice everything into nothingness. What was the point of healing? Heavenly Sovereign Jian Si and the others also revealed bitter smiles, and it could even be said that they did not have the slightest fighting spirit to speak of. Only their master, Empyrean Vast Expanse, could deal with Empyrean Death God. Now that time and space had been reversed, even if his cultivation had been reduced, the overall power was quite strong, far beyond the scope of what they could resist. Little junior brother, take this chance to escape. We have no choice but to give up on the God realm of the three realms. We also have to give up on the token core. Otherwise, we'll be under constant surveillance. Celestial Force turned to Tianyun and gestured for them to flee. Celestial Lord Sword C and the others were the same. They transmitted their voices to each other, hinting for Tianyun to immediately bring his people and flee as far as they could. Are you guys discussing how to escape? Empyrean Death God slowly spoke at this time. He did not attack immediately, but instead walked towards them step by step. With just one step, the surrounding space was sealed by his murderous aura. Their breathing stagnated. Empyrean Death God was going to attack? Immediately, they prepared to fight. Moreover, they were going to fight with their lives on the line. Don't worry, I won't be so anxious to play you to death. After all, you are the disciples of Empyrean Vast Expanse. I have to have some fun. After all, I still have a day. Empyrean Death God smiled slightly and said, I really didn't expect that I would be able to see the light of day again. The time is a little short, but at least I can make a trip back. That's right, there's also you, kid. You were the one who killed me. I really didn't expect to see you here again. Empyrean Death God's smile was very cold. It could be said that it was cold to the bottom of their hearts. Although he said that there was no need to be so anxious to kill them, the red sword in his hand flickered with blood-red light, ready to reap lives at any time. As soon as his voice fell, Empyrean Death God swung his sword to the side. An extreme red light tore through the void and slashed at the planet beside him. Bang! A deep mark was immediately carved into the planet. The defensive array on it was nearly useless. Rather, it was only a tiny bit effective. If it weren't for this defensive array, the planet would have likely been cut in half. Under this slash, the planet was instantly blasted away, and there were many casualties. Tianyun's eyes darkened. He clenched his fists, anger soaring to the heavens. I'm sorry, I was just casually testing out my sword to see how strong it was. Although it isn't as strong as when I was at my peak, overall it's not bad. Empyrean Death God coldly smiled. At the very least, there isn't that disgusting mark. If it weren't for that mark, do you think you could have killed me? Although this was space-time backtracking, the memories still existed. After all, what he had summoned was the true Empyrean Death God, not an illusion. This sort of move couldn't be casually used. It required sacrificing oneself as the price, and one couldn't always resurrect. This was a taboo martial art. Normally, one wouldn't use it unless they were forced into a dead end and wanted to perish together with their enemy. Tianyun's complexion was terrifyingly dark. If things continued like this, Empyrean Death God would definitely destroy the entire Three Realms God realm. With Empyrean Death God's cultivation, how could he possibly need a day? In just a few hours, he could destroy the entire Three Realms God realm. But the mission that I was summoned here is to kill you and destroy your influence. How about this? I will destroy your God realm first and then I will deal with you. This way you can watch as your influence is slowly destroyed. A red light flashed in Empyrean Death God's eyes. Although his tone seemed calm, the truth was that he wished that he could immediately kill Tianyun. But he didn't want things to end like this. He wanted Tianyun to taste all the pain he could, and then he would ruthlessly torture him before finally killing him. This was the only way he could take revenge. If he destroyed him with a single sword strike, that would be far too boring. He only had one day to live. At that time, there wouldn't be anything to do. Or rather, even if he wanted to do something, he wouldn't be able to. Chapter 14:13. Little junior brother, I will stop him first. You guys run first. Heavenly Venerable Force was ready to die at any time. This time, their master would not appear. Even if he wanted to appear, it would be more difficult. It would take a lot of time to reinforce them. They would not be able to make it in time. Even if they could rush over in 2 days, the God realm of the Three Realms would already be gone. Moreover, 2 days was not enough. They would be finished in half a day. Little junior brother, there is no time to think. Let's go. Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others could only run. It was not that they were afraid of death, but they did not want to make unnecessary sacrifices. It was not worth dying here, especially when facing such a powerhouse. How could they not run? They could not defeat the other party even if they risked their lives. If they continued to be rash, they would be courting death. When facing so many heavenly venerables before, they could at least fight. Now, they did not even have the chance to fight. How could they fight? Heavenly Venerable Force and the others were constantly persuading Tianyun to leave, but Tianyun had no intention of leaving. This made them very anxious. No, we still have a chance. Tianyun's eyes burned. I don't want the God realm of the Three Realms to be destroyed. I don't want so many people who support me to die. He could only bring away a portion of the cultivators. It was impossible to bring away all of them. Although he could bring away many cultivators, he could not abandon this place. Especially if he had to abandon so many cultivators. This was something he did not want to do. Moreover, he still had a mission to complete. He could not admit defeat. But if you don't leave, can you deal with him? Heavenly Venerable Sword C and the others frowned. Sometimes it was not good to be too stubborn. You could not have your cake and eat it too. Some things had to be sacrificed. Yes. Tianyun said solemnly, as long as you guys help me lock onto him for a short time, I guarantee that he will die without any dregs left. Lock onto him for a short time? The three of them were stunned. As long as they locked onto him for a short time, they could kill Heavenly Venerable Godslayer? How should they kill him? Could it be that Tianyun would personally attack? It was undeniable that Tianyun's attacks were ferocious, but he was still lacking when facing Heavenly Venerable Godslayer. Yes, there's no time to lose. Let's act now. Wait for my notice. I'll let you know when I'm ready. In the meantime, I hope that the three of you can use your full strength to stop him for a while. Tianyun's tone was firm, as if he was full of confidence. After a moment of silence, Heavenly Lord Li chose to believe in Tianyun's idea and immediately agreed. All right, we'll do as you say. Tianyun nodded and said in a low voice, then I'll go prepare first. But before that, help me break this ceiling formation. No problem. The three senior apprentice brothers immediately took action. It was as if they had cooperated countless times. The power of the three linked together, and then they fiercely threw out an extremely sharp light, breaking the seal in front of them. The moment it was broken, Tianyun's figure flickered and he immediately fled the area. Although his title was quite heaven-defying, he was still suppressed by the powerful seal of an upper Empyrean. Thus, he could only break the seal before being able to teleport over. "You're courting death," Empyrean death god sneered. "Do you think you can escape? Since you want to stand up for him, then I'll cut you down first. If I kill you, I believe that vast Empyrean will vomit blood in anger." Empyrean death god didn't chase after Eteonyun. In any case, in his opinion, Eteonyun would die last, so there was no need to worry. In particular, Eteonyun had the token core on him, so it was impossible for him to escape. Unless Eteonyun was willing to give up the token core, Empyrean death god could easily catch up to him. It would be difficult not to recognize such an obvious symbol. Immediately, Empyrean death god waved the red sword in his hand and quickly slashed out several times. Each slash turned into a red light that tore through the world, chopping towards them in irregular directions. There was no way to dodge. The three of them had no intention of dodging. They gathered their formidable strength and collided with Empyrean death god. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Following an explosion, the three of them were actually blasted flying out. In contrast, Empyrean death god was completely fine. They didn't expect that the three of them joining hands were still inferior to Empyrean death god alone. Empyrean death god was indeed not an existence with an undeserved reputation. When he truly erupted, no one could stop him. "You only have this bit of strength? If you really only have this bit of strength, then it would be too disappointing. I should say that the disciples taught by vast Empyrean are really too trash." Empyrean death god laughed loudly, red killing aura wings emerging from his back, and he rushed over here. Passing through a large stretch of the void, surging red killing aura bloomed in the air, locking down all areas. Everywhere it passed, everyone was affected. Even Empyrean Sword C and the others were affected a little. This was still not Empyrean death god's peak state. If he truly encountered his peak state, what kind of power would it be? "Rest assured, we won't let you down," Empyrean Force and the others shouted out loud, clashing head-on with Empyrean death god once more. Even if they were no match, they still had to resist. Eteonyun had already told them that they had to stop Empyrean death god at all costs. After he notified them, they had to suppress Empyrean death god and restrict him to a certain range. Thus, the strength they displayed now wasn't their strongest, but was deliberately showing weakness so that Empyrean death god would relax his vigilance and think that they only had this bit of strength. "Little junior apprentice brother, don't let us down." The three of them didn't know what Eteonyun was doing, but they could only choose to believe him. If they could really eliminate Empyrean death god, then they would win the Divine Realm War. The powerhouses of two divine realms had already been eliminated, so what divine realm could stop them? Unless the inner divine realm sent down a large number of powerhouses, they would absolutely be able to survive for a month. Even if the inner divine realm really sent down a bunch of powerhouses, there wouldn't be enough time. Just the time it took for them to travel was more than enough. At this time, Eteonyun had already returned to the three realms. Without hesitation, he went to the control room in the mortal realm. The control room was no different from before, and he still sat down on the same seat. "Activate the mortal realm's supremacy slaughtering grand array." His eyes sparkled with extreme light. At the same time, the 5 elemental cores in the mortal realm began to frantically revolve. The power of the 5 elemental cores constantly surged out from the depths of the earth. Then, a massive array began to rapidly appear on the surface of the mortal realm. This great array nearly covered the entire mortal realm. From the outside, it looked like an incomparably massive array had appeared. Under normal circumstances, no one would be able to see it, but now a massive array had suddenly appeared. Chapter 14:14. The slaughter of the Elder's Great Array is the power that Eteonyun can control after controlling the 5 elements core. The slaughter of the Elder's Great Array, as the name suggests, is a great array that can slaughter heavenly masters and has an absolute killing power. Tianyun didn't want to use this thing from the beginning, mainly because the slaughter of the Elder's great array is a trump card, and the cooldown time is extremely terrifying. After using it once, it will take 10 years to cool down. Even if he has Cooling Godstone, it will be difficult to use it without 10 years of cooldown. The amount of Cooling Godstone needed is too much. Although he has a lot of Crazy Point after using the Cooling Godstone, he estimated that his Crazy Point will be used up. If he really encounters a situation where he must use it, even if he runs out of Crazy Point, he will use it. Now is the situation where he has to use it. Heavenly Masterly and the others can't deal with it at all, and their biggest trump card was used just like that. At first, Tianyun thought that they could still deal with it, so he didn't use it. Waiting for them to deal with it slowly, it is not very difficult to deal with it steadily. It is difficult, but at least there is hope to deal with it. Now there was no hope at all. The Middle Empyrean Death God possessed absolute strength and could easily crush them to death. Even if Heavenly Master Li and the others join forces, they can't deal with it. Even if they exhaust all their energy, it will be useless. As for Heavenly Master Jiuhong and the others, burning themselves to summon a powerhouse. They did not cultivate this. Vast Heavenly Master forbids cultivating this thing. Besides, even if they cultivate it, they can't summon it. The gap in cultivation is too big. It is estimated that they will be killed before they can summon it. The power that the two upper Heavenly Masters burst out before can form a temporary protection, so it can be summoned successfully. If there is no strong protective array, it will not be able to be summoned, and it will be easily killed. In this case, Tianyun could only use his trump card. Originally, he planned to use it as a defensive trump card when he was in the divine domain. Whoever dares to invade at will, it will definitely be a deterrent. Now they can only use it, otherwise they will be finished. Activate, Slaughter of the Elder's Great Array. Tianyun's eyes shone. Instantly, the energy from the core of the 5 elements surged out and entered the honorable slaying array. At the same time, the cultivators quickly discovered the abnormality under their feet. They were all very surprised. Before they knew it, a huge array had appeared beneath their feet. They had no idea what was going on. Buzz, 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 the supremacy slaughtering array shone with light, and soon, a spot of light condensed outside the planet. At the same time, it became bigger, and soon, it was half the size of the planet. It looked like a sun condensed outside. When the cultivators of the sacred realm of the 3 realms saw this, they were shocked. They could clearly feel an extremely terrifying energy descending from the sky. It was so oppressive that they couldn't move, and they couldn't even think of escaping. Everyone, sit down and meditate. Don't panic. I'm the one who caused all this. Tianyun quickly transmitted his voice to the people around him, telling them to calm down and not be frightened. Hearing Tianyun's voice, everyone calmed down, listened to him, and slowly sat down to meditate. After sitting down to meditate, they immediately felt a little better. At the same time, Tianyun took out a communication jade pendant and ruthlessly crushed it. After crushing it, Heavenly Venerate Force's communication jade pendant immediately responded. This meant that they were about to take action. At this time, they were already covered in cuts and bruises. They didn't know how many sword slashes they had suffered. Some were rapidly healing, some were so deep that their bones could be seen, and some had lost large chunks of flesh. None of this mattered. The important thing was that the surging killing intent had seeped in and affected their performance. It had to be known that Tianyun had only left for a short while, but in the blink of an eye, they were already covered in cuts and bruises. They felt as if they were about to collapse. To be able to last so long against Heavenly Venerate Godslayer was already quite impressive. Heavenly Venerate Godslayer was not easy to deal with. When he truly erupted, no one could stop him. Finally, when they received news from Tianyun, they immediately took action. Let's go. As they desperately resisted Heavenly Venerate Godslayer's fierce attacks, they suddenly split into 3 groups. All of their strength instantly erupted, releasing the greatest amount of energy without holding back. They didn't dare to hold back. If they did, there was a chance they wouldn't be able to suppress Heavenly Venerate Godslayer. Bang! A massive 3-pointed star formation formed in the void, surrounding them from all directions. Soon, countless swords of light fell down, ruthlessly stabbing into Heavenly Venerate Godslayer's side, locking him in place. At the same time, a dense rain of light swords fell upon Heavenly Venerate Godslayer's body. With their full strength, the strength of the 3 of them rose by a great deal, reaching the middle upper Heavenly Venerate realm. But no matter what, they could only reach this level, not surpass it. Is this your final counterattack before death? Heavenly Venerate Godslayer waved the red sword in his hand, rapidly cutting apart the incoming swords of light. A single sword cut apart a large number of them. Their all-out attacks had no effect on him at all. If this is your final counterattack before death, then I'm far too disappointed. Heavenly Venerate Godslayer's eyes turned red. It's time to end this. All of you can die for me. Heavenly Venerate Godslayer roared. He raised his sword and rushed towards Heavenly Venerate Force, sweeping away the incoming swords of light. But even after this sweep, he still wasn't able to destroy all the swords of light nailed to the outside. He only managed to destroy a small layer. After destroying a layer, there were still several more layers outside. This didn't have any killing power. It was simply to stop him and prevent him from running around. This was what Tianyun wanted them to do. They didn't want to nail Heavenly Venerate Godslayer to the void, nor did they want to engage in a crazy battle with him. What they needed to do was to move around and trap him in a certain area. At the same time, the 3 of them rapidly scattered to the side. Tianyun repeatedly told them to immediately retreat to a certain area after they were done controlling him. You want to trap me with just this bit of strength? You are far too naive. Heavenly Venerate Godslayer felt extremely disdainful towards this. But just as he was about to destroy all the swords of light trapping him, he suddenly turned his head to look ahead. He immediately felt a terrifying strength transmit towards him from the area in front of him. First, it was a small dot of light that soon turned into a massive dot of light. Finally, it turned into a massive pillar of light that swallowed him. First, it destroyed the swords of light outside. The originally firm swords of light were swallowed up by this pillar of light and rapidly disappeared, turning into a mass of light that swallowed Heavenly Venerate Godslayer. Chapter 14-15. Heavenly Venerate Killer God was so scared that all his pores opened up and he immediately erupted with his strongest power. The Killer God power within his body and the various Empyrean spirit treasures were released one after another. Several blood-red wings appeared on his back, turning into 6 wings in an instant. The Killer God power was raised to the maximum, so much so that a blood-red phantom appeared behind him. Upon closer inspection, one would discover that it was a giant skeleton that looked extremely ferocious. He didn't hesitate to slash down at the incoming beam of light. He roared, "Killer God!" The giant red light slashed vertically, wanting to split the incoming beam of light in 2. This sword strike gathered all of his power. When it was unleashed, even the wings on his back disappeared, all of it gathered into this sword strike. The power of this sword had already reached 18 billion points of star power, far surpassing his previous level. This was his strongest power. Ordinary mid-level upper heavenly venerates weren't his match. But when this sword, which he had put all his strength into, touched the giant beam of light, it instantly disappeared without any resistance. Not to mention leaving a mark on the beam of light, there wasn't even a speck of red left. It was directly swallowed up by the white light. What upper heavenly venerate power! In front of this power, it was completely trash. After swallowing the red light, it rushed over and swallowed Heavenly Venerate Killer God. First, it swallowed his arm, instantly evaporating into a pile of nothingness. He struggled to escape, but his speed was too slow. He didn't even have time to turn around. From the moment he was targeted, it was already too late for him to escape. No, no. I can't accept this. Heavenly Venerate Killer God roared. But before he could finish speaking, he was completely swallowed by the beam of light. After the beam of light swallowed Heavenly Venerate Killer God, it continued forward until it flew out of the three realms God realm. When the beam of light disappeared, Heavenly Venerate Killer God naturally disappeared, as if he had never appeared. Everything happened too quickly. Heavenly Venerate Force and the others didn't even have time to react. Especially when they felt that terrifying power, their hearts trembled. If this beam of light had struck them, they would have died without a doubt. Fortunately, they had run a little further, otherwise they would have really died. This is too terrifying. What kind of power is this? Where did little junior brother get such a powerful force from? Yeah, what kind of power is this? If they had used it right from the start, they would have killed all the heavenly venerables. They were all stupefied, unable to recover from their shock for a long time. Previously, when Tianyun said that he would leave it to him, they believed that Tianyun could do it. Now that he had really done it, it was just too unexpected. It was basically an instant kill. The powerful Empyrean killing god couldn't even block it at all before being killed. Successfully killed God Killer Heavenly Master. Reward, 300. 000 EXP 10. 000 Crazy Point 10. 000 SPS, obtained Killing God Sword, Upper Empyrean Spirit Treasure. Killing God Power, Killing God Art. You've killed someone above your level. You've gained an additional 80,000 compressed experience points. When Tianyun heard the voice in the control room, he heaved a sigh of relief. He did not know if the power of the great array of slaughtering the Supremes was really that amazing. But now it seems that it is really powerful. Killing God Killer Heavenly Master was directly killed without a chance to resist. This is too terrifying in his opinion. What if it controls the other two areas? Wouldn't the power that can erupt be even more terrifying? After the eruption, Tianyun felt that the energy of the five elements core has quickly become a lot smaller. Obviously, the consumption is still a lot. Correspondingly, the cooldown time is 10 years. It is really a terrifying cooldown time. It is really too long. The final trump card is used. The power is really amazing. The great array of a grade 9 god carving master is really powerful. Tianyun is still very surprised. In fact, this attack is still compressed. Under normal circumstances, the range can be a little larger, basically covering a small part of the three realms' divine realm. This means that the first 16 heavenly venerables who came to kill them can be blasted to pieces. But he doesn't want to do this. He feels that it is a bit wasteful. Unless it is absolutely necessary, he really doesn't want to use it like this. In the end, he still used it. The range was compressed to a small area. If the range was too large, then even Heavenly Venerate Force and the others would be covered, and even his planet would be covered. At that time, not only will Empyrean Killing God be destroyed, but Heavenly Venerate Force and the others will also be blasted to pieces. Originally, this kind of attack is an area of effect attack. It is impossible to distinguish one's own people. As long as anything in front of it is blocked, it will be blasted to pieces. No matter what, it is all over. After Empyrean Killing God died, everything is basically over. He slumped in his chair and looked up at the sky. The Battle of the Divine Realm, is this considered a success? A Grade 1 Divine Realm successfully rushed to the inner Divine Realm. This is absolutely a miracle. There has never been such a situation before, but it was created by his hands. After Empyrean Killing God was killed, everyone reorganized themselves, treated their injuries, or continued to be on guard against other powerhouses invading. In fact, there is no need for this. After the powerhouses of the two divine realms were killed, they were all scared out of their wit. How would they dare to continue coming? Especially when someone as heaven-defying as Empyrean killing God was killed, who would dare to invade? Little junior brother, that move of yours is too powerful. How did you do it? After Heavenly Venerate Force and the others came over, they still could not suppress the shock in their hearts. Actually, it is an ancient array formation. After it is used, it is very difficult to use. Tianyun shook his head. This is not a lie. It is indeed an ancient array formation, and after it is used, it has a very long cooldown. They came to a realization and did not continue asking. Everyone has their own trump cards, so there is no need to say too much. In any case, as long as it is not an enemy, the more such trump cards, the better. No matter what, I have to congratulate you in advance this time. In 2 weeks, you will successfully enter the inner divine realm. Heavenly Venerate Force sighed. At first, I thought it would be very difficult, but in the end, you still succeeded. You can be said to have created a miracle, leaping from a grade 1 divine realm to a grade 4 divine realm. This is something that no one would dare to imagine in the past. Hee, little junior brother, not only did you dare to imagine it, you even achieved it. Heavenly Venerate Sword Ruler's eyes were also filled with joy. All that is left is to wait for the time to come. When the time comes, we will directly enter the inner divine realm. You all better make your preparations. Chapter 14-16. 2 weeks was a very short period of time for cultivators, but to them a day felt like a year. Every one of them was on high alert. Even after destroying 2 god realms, they were still on high alert, not daring to relax. Even if Tianyun told them to relax, they wouldn't. As long as they didn't pass, there was no need to relax, much less end. Days passed, and in the blink of an eye, almost 2 weeks had passed. A few more hours and it would be a month. By then, everything would be settled. A grade 1 god realm would ascend to a grade 4 god realm. This was an unprecedented leap, a historical miracle. Normally, only grade 3 god realms would compete, and grade 1 god realms would be cannon fodder. But now, it was the other way around, with grade 1 god realms as cannon fodder. Every one of them was overjoyed at the thought of being able to head to a grade 4 god realm. Little junior brother, when you head to the grade 4 god realm, Master will come looking for you. He will help you to prevent other god realms from attacking, Heavenly Venerately reminded, but Master's injuries haven't healed yet, and it will be difficult to defend against strong enemies when they invade. But we'll be there soon. When the time comes, we'll stand guard for you. However, there's a question that you have to face. As Master's disciple, I wonder if you're willing to join our vast divine sect? Heavenly Venerately hesitated for a moment, but decided to say it. I won't force it. Even if I don't join the sect, Master will still help. Why not? Tianyun said with a smile. The 3 of them didn't choose to escape in the face of danger, and instead covered his escape. Just this point alone made it worth joining the sect. He didn't need to think too much about it before he agreed. They were stunned, not expecting Tianyun to agree so quickly. But then they rejoiced. Since little junior brother is so straightforward, that's great. But Master never interferes with the management of any forces, and he lets us develop. We will only announce to the outside world that the divine realm of the 3 realms has joined the vast divine sect and is a part of the vast divine sect. Wouldn't this have a positive impact on the vast divine sect? Tianyun was rather curious about this point. That's for sure. The main problem is that our vast god sect is in a difficult situation. We've never had any god realm powers. Empyrean Force and the others were incomparably embarrassed. The vast divine sect doesn't have any god realm forces? Tianyun asked in astonishment. Yes, we are in the inner divine realm, but we are in a divine realm without a master. This was similar to the Chaos Celestial Realm, so it couldn't be considered a force. If little junior brother announces that he's joining us, it'll be equivalent to having more face. It'll be equivalent to Master's teaching, allowing a disciple to rise up from below. This way, Master's situation will be slightly better. At the very least, I won't be looked down upon by my original faction. They were actually in a very awkward situation. They looked very powerful, but in reality, their standards could only be considered passable in the inner god territory. This was the same as in the beginning. A sage king could do whatever he wanted in the mortal world, but in the divine realm, he was the lowest of the low. Original faction? Tianyun was taken aback. This is a long story. In short, it's because of differences in ideals. In a fit of anger, Master left his original faction. That's why he ended up in such a situation. Empyrean Force shook his head and didn't say anything else. Some things were too complicated. When the time came, Tianyun would understand. That's not a problem. I welcome you to move to the sacred realm of the three realms. Tianyun smiled. That won't be the case. Master definitely won't move here. He's used to freedom. He just doesn't want to manage too much. That's why he left his original faction. Empyrean Force thought for a moment before continuing to explain. One more thing. The territory in the inner god territory is incomparably precious. Before you are moved up, no one knows where you will be assigned to. However, no matter what, it won't be bad. When the time comes, there will probably be other god territories eyeing you covetously, wanting to swallow you up. At that time, there might be a war. You have to be careful. You have to defend your territory to the death. Once Master goes over, things will be much better, Empyrean Force reminded. Tianyun nodded. He knew that things wouldn't be too peaceful up there. I know that. However, won't it be a little too much to be surrounded as soon as I go up? Tianyun said. That's normal. If you're weak or don't have a backer, you'll be attacked immediately. The territory of a grade 4 god territory is fixed. Only when a new faction comes up will a new territory be opened up. A new territory means new resources. It's impossible to fight over it, Empyrean Force explained. So that's how it is. It looks like the real battle will start when we go up. Tianyun shook his head. No wonder after going up, the task reward also includes forming a strong shield, can protect them from attack. If they didn't have a backer, they would probably be destroyed immediately. That's about it. It's about time. We'll retreat first. We'll meet up there. They couldn't follow them up, so they could only return to the god territory through the passage. Alright. They quickly tore open the void and disappeared. They had to rush back as fast as they could. There were still a few hours left. No one would come to attack them at this time. Even if there was a sneak attack, Tianyun should be able to deal with it. There was no need for them to worry. After watching them leave, Tianyun came out of the hall. A group of cultivators was extremely excited. When they saw Tianyun coming out, they all turned to look at him, including the Divine Spirit Tribe and the Glaze region leader. They were all excited. There's only 4 hours left before we finish the God Territory battle. Then, we'll move to Grade 4 God Territory. Tianyun said with a smile. I'm also very excited about this. However, once we go up, we'll face even greater pressure. I hope you'll work harder. Alright. Everyone cheered. Even if they died, they felt that it was worth it. Sometimes, cultivating for so long wasn't just for survival. Sometimes, living for too long would drive one crazy. Especially without a goal and motivation, living for too long was useless. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.